3 points of the season. Their opponents, Aston Villa in the West Midlands. Both sides opening their campaigns with defeats, one of them slender and one a demolition.
Well, it's Fulham coming forward at the moment, and it's played in towards the penalty area. Pereira gets it right across, chance there, and Fulham have scored, and it's the substitute Bobby De Cordova-Reid who's given the visitors the lead. It's 1-0 for Fulham.
Barnes away for Newcastle. Newcastle go for 5, and they get it, and it's Harvey Barnes who scores on his Newcastle United Premier League debut in front of the Gallagher end at St James's Park. Beautifully tucked away. Newcastle United 5, Aston Villa 1.
Sean Dyche will want his players to carry on their improved away results at the back end of last season, while the home side will surely want to bounce back after that 5-1 drubbing.
I think you'd expect a reaction. We have to safeguard against that. I think it was Joe Royle who always says to me, get your retaliation in first. Don't wait for them to step forward first. So we've got to play on the front foot. We've got to take the game on, both home and away. I think that's our mentality this season, is to take every challenge as it comes, but take every game on with a real positive attitude, and that's what we're looking to do.
Villa haven't been the best opponents for Everton of late. The Blues have failed to win any of their last 8 meetings against the Midlanders. The last one coming at Villa Park in March 2016.
Corner then for Everton at the Holt end. Funes Mori and Jagielka both forward. In it goes towards the near post. Header is there from Funes Mori, and Everton have the lead they wanted with less than 5 minutes gone. Here's Barkley. Morales will make the run forward. Morales now left hand side of the penalty area. Ball played across. Lennon 2-0. After all that Villa pressure, Everton have hit them on the break. Morales to Aaron Lennon. Simple as that. Lennon on the edge of the box. Support from Funes Mori now. He's inside the box and across it goes, and it's 3-0. Romelu Lukaku.
We've got full exclusive local radio commentary to come from 2 o'clock on 95.8 FM. Freeview channel 722 and online via the football pages on the BBC Sport website. Your commentators this afternoon are Blues legend Barry Horn and BBC Radio Merseyside's Derek Jones.
In English League history, both sides having lost their opening games. Ume Emery and Sean Dyche, they'll be hoping for better here. Lack of goals, well, that's still the big worry for Blues fans who saw their side with only 2 of 19 away league games last season. Aston Villa, well, they've won their first home league fixture in each of the past 3 seasons, including a 2-1 victory over Everton last term, although it was Gerrard versus Lampard on that occasion. Sean Dyche, well, he's unbeaten in 3 Premier League visits to Villa Park while in charge of Burnley, so we're hoping that run will continue this afternoon. Blues team.
1 or 2 technical issues with Derek Jones at Villa Park. We'll sort that out for you. We'll definitely be bringing you full commentary on Aston Villa versus Everton. Don't worry about that. By the way, if you want to hear from Billy Hoy, he's on DAB and BBC Sounds. Everton just one change from last weekend. Dominic Calvert-Lewin returns to the Everton starting lineup. There's one other game in the Premier League today as West Ham United host Chelsea at 4:30. We've got 2 other local commentaries which are both online via the rugby league pages on the BBC Sport website from 3 o'clock. Warrington Wolves are at Leeds Rhinos in Super League, while in the Championship, Widnes Vikings take on York Knights. In the Women's Super League, Warrington currently in action at Leeds, while at 2 o'clock St Helens away to Huddersfield Giants. We're on the air until 4:30 today, so you can give us your reaction in the post-match football phone-in, and we'll also bring you action from the Women's World Cup final. Unfortunately, England beaten by 1-0 by Spain. But between now and kick-off, we'll hear from Sean Dyche and get the lowdown on Jack Harris.
Merseyside Sports.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
But without further ado, let's get down to Villa Park again and get that confirmed Everton team news from Derek Jones.
Yeah, a few technical. Blues, Dominic Calvert-Lewin will start. Neil Maupay has dropped to the bench. Jordan Pickford, his 250th Premier League appearance, he will be in goal. The back 4, Nathan Patterson, Michael Keane, James Karkowski, the captain, and Ashley Young, of course, returning to his former club. James Garner Garner Gay, Onana and Alex Iwobi across the middle, and then Doucouré just behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. On the bench for the Blues, João Virginia's the goalkeeper, Arnaud Danjuma, Neil Maupay, Vitaly Mikolenko, Ben Godfrey, Jared Branthwaite, Thomas Cannon, Lewis Dobbin and Tyler Onyango. As far as Villa are concerned, well, they've got injury problems of their own, of course. That really awful injury for Newcastle. They'll have Emiliano Martinez in goal, Matty Cash, Esri Konsa, Douglas Luiz, John McGinn their captain, Ollie Watkins, Luca Dean of course, former Blue, who's making his 300th league game today. 113 of those were for the Blues. Ollie Watkins is in the starting lineup. Pau, Moussa Diaby, Leon Bailey and Boubacar Kamara. On the bench for them, Robin Olsen is a goalkeeping sub, as is Philip Martial, Diego Carlos, Yuri Tielemans, who's arrived on a free from Leicester City, Bertrand Traore, Callum Chambers, Philippe Coutinho, John Duran and Cameron Arthur. For this one is going to be Anthony Taylor, Mike.
Yeah, if we can just have a quick word with Barry Horn. Hopefully, technically, we're going to be able to stay together. We will have full commentary on this game. Do not be concerned about that. Barry, your thoughts on that Everton lineup?
Well, obviously the big news is Dominic Calvert-Lewin available for selection, and without wishing to be critical of Neil Maupay, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin would have played last Saturday, Everton would have 3 points. That's the big news, really, isn't it? That's the only story as far as Everton is concerned. We've got a centre forward on the pitch, so fingers crossed he's going to be able to play for a few games now on the bounce, which is something he hasn't done for a long time.
Yeah, and that makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
It makes a massive difference to everybody. The confidence of the players, knowing that somebody's up there, he's going to hold the ball up, he's going to possibly run in behind, he's going to attack crosses, none of which are strengths that Everton Football Club bought Neil Maupay to have. It's harsh on him to ask him to do all of those things, because that's not what Everton, that's not the player Everton bought. But Calvert-Lewin will have a massive impact on players, undoubtedly.
Thank you to Barry Horn, Everton legend, alongside Derek Jones, our commentary team at Villa Park. We'll sort out those technical issues for you. Don't worry. Full commentary on BBC Radio Merseyside on every Everton domestic game of the season, home or away. So the Blues at Villa Park this afternoon, looking to get off the mark in terms of points on the board. The away form was a problem last season, just 2 wins on the road during the whole campaign. If the Blues are to avoid trouble this time around, that's something that they need to put right, certainly. For Sean Dyche, is it motivation or frustration that they lost against Fulham last weekend at Goodison, despite a much improved all-round performance?
I think a little bit of both in a way. You want the form, the team to perform well. You want the consistency I spoke endlessly about last season, because it's an important factor. And inside the game, the consistency throughout a game. And we were. I mean, one mistake for the goal, and that sometimes cost you, which it did. But there was a lot of consistent players, a lot of consistent performances throughout the 90-odd minutes. And then, the good side of that, so that's the frustrating side of it, we didn't win the game. The good side of it was a very, very good performance, I thought, generally speaking. There was the other things, there's always details you look at. The fitness looked good, the shape of the side was good, we were productive, broke the play up, the stats were very good afterwards, because obviously your eyes don't always lie. They're normally pretty reliable, but sometimes you see a game differently than when you see the stats. Stats were very strong and only really supported a good performance. So, yeah, a lot to build on, and a lot of positives at the back end of a pre-season, other than the biggest one that you're looking for. The biggest positive you're looking for is to win.
Last season, away wins were difficult to come by. I think from February onwards there was only one, but it was the Brighton one, which was the other end of the scale and one of the more impressive performances of the season. Over the summer and now, is there anything you're doing to look at away games differently in order to get more points?
I think there was a number of close occasions when we played very well. I remember one that jumps off the page from last season. It was the Forest game. I thought we dominated large parts of the game, played very well. As good a away performance other than the result. So the fine lines are there. That was quite clear. Others we didn't. Obviously, we didn't perform well, but that one definitely was one. Leicester was another one. Really big performance against a top side at the time in Brighton. So I mean, you're never a million miles away. And I think the adding the idea of the mental side of the game, adding the approach away from home, adding the belief factor, because we always travel well, our fans travel well and support us, and I think it's just layering up on top of that. But I think the idea is, I mean, it's never that easy. You want the ideal mentality going into games home and away is actually the same. You want the same thinking, the same thoughts, the same belief in what you do. We obviously know statistically that's never, or very, very rarely over seasons is that the case. So I think it's building on last season, adding in detail, but also adding in the mentality to go wherever we need to go and take on games to win. And I think that's a physical thing, of course, but it's equally a mental thing. Going into whatever stadium with a total belief as a unit that you can win games. And I think we're trying to edge that way and trying to build on that. But you've got to do the work. You've got to win games to keep enhancing that thought.
That's Sean Dyche, the Everton manager, speaking about the frustrations and the optimism. Difficult to sort of hone that into one performance, but it was a much better performance against Fulham. Granted, Chris Coughlin, our producer, joins me in the studio. The Everton starting lineup, it's no surprise that it is just one change, because Everton is Barry Horn, our summariser, alongside Derek Jones, making the point that it changes the whole shape of things having Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in the starting lineup.
It does indeed. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he provides a focal point for Everton. He's a finisher, he's a goal scorer, certainly. And the thing is, with Calvert-Lewin, you need him on the pitch to have his biggest impact, and getting him back on the pitch is key for Everton. Obviously, fingers crossed that he does remain fit, not just for this game, but obviously for a much longer period as well. And I think the key thing is with Calvert-Lewin is that not only does he benefit Everton from a goal scoring perspective himself, but the players around him, he'll improve them, he'll bring them into play. I think you just have to look at that game at Brighton that we were alluding to there, where the first goal inside a minute for Abdoulaye Doucouré, brilliant turn on the edge of the box, cut it back, and Doucouré finished it off. And Calvert-Lewin has the ability to improve others around him as well, and that's key for Everton.
But it's goals that Everton have been short of. They weren't actually short on chances last week. 19 shots, 9 on target, and he can be clinical in and around the penalty area. And you look at his goals record, and he can bring that to the table, and goals change games, and goals get you points.
Absolutely. To go along with what Barry was saying, I think that if Calvert-Lewin did have the chances that Neal Maupay had last week, then I think we would have been talking about an Everton win over Fulham. And I think it's important to emphasise as well that it's not just Neal Maupay. There were chances for Doucouré as well, Nathan Patterson. So there were chances throughout the team, and it's easy to overreact, and obviously when a defeat comes around, but the performance in essence, to create that many chances any other day, we would have been talking about 3 points for Everton. But there is the need to improve in front of goal, improve that clinical nature, and to have someone like Calvert-Lewin, as I've said, if he has those opportunities, you would back him to finish them.
One point that's certainly worthy of mention is Aston Villa, notwithstanding a 5-1 defeat at Newcastle in their first game of the season, they're a much better team than Aston Villa, and they have a lot more attacking potential.
Indeed. I mean, I think we were all surprised by Aston Villa conceding 5 last week, but if we talk about Aston Villa's attacking outlets, Diaby, I'm a big fan of him when he was playing in the Bundesliga. Ollie Watkins is a proven goal scorer at this level. Leon Bailey as well, he had his moments. He's struggled since coming in from Bayer Leverkusen, but again, undoubted quality. And I think Unai Emery, when he came in, where he improved where Steven Gerrard didn't, in that Unai Emery came in with a clear plan to say 4-3-3, Ollie Watkins, you're my main forward. And if anything, with this system as well, he allows Diaby to become a second striker, if you like, but still playing wide with Bailey and providing Watkins. And the midfield three for Aston Villa, it's as solid, I think, as you'll find in the Premier League, certainly.
Because in possession, and they have plenty of it, particularly in home games, it becomes almost a 5 in midfield, and in the attacking areas, with both fullbacks becoming wing-backs or, if you like, auxiliary wingers.
Indeed, and Everton fans will know all about Luca Dean, of course, from his time at Goodison Park and the quality that he had. for one of the biggest signings for me for Aston Villa this year, Pau Torres in defence. I think he's a massive signing for Aston Villa. Bayern Munich were very interested in him. For Aston Villa to get him from Unai Emery's old club Villarreal, it shows the pull that he has as a manager. 4 Europa Leagues to his name, and Aston Villa will be amongst the favourites to win the Europa Conference League. They still have to qualify though. They've got a two-legged tie against Hibs from Scotland coming up. But Aston Villa, I think there's a lot of people talking about them maybe being this year's Brighton, for example. Brighton could still be this year's Brighton for all we know. But again, last week's defeat against Newcastle, I don't think you saw the real Aston Villa, but hopefully we won't exactly be seeing the real Aston Villa today either.
Yeah, full commentary to come on BBC Radio Merseyside, Aston Villa versus Everton. And as we've mentioned, Everton don't have a great recent record against Villa, and no time like the present to put that right. You're listening to Merseyside Sport on a busy old footballing afternoon. Well, on to the Blues, and their new signing, Jack Harrison, is a total pro, and he can make an immediate difference to Everton, according to BBC Yorkshire commentator Adam Pope, who's had many years covering Leeds United. The winger who signed for the Blues on Monday on loan for the rest of the season is currently sidelined with a slight hip injury, and Pope says the 26-year-old has everything in his locker to be a long-term success in the Premier League.
I think he can, because in the sense that he's got an unbelievable touch, and you'd expect that in the Premier League anyway. So he's got that. He can add goals. He has got the assists, but also I think he's got a great character too. He is someone that constantly looks to improve, Steve, and go look at every aspect of his lifestyle, and whether that be sort of meditating or doing extra stuff during the summer or whatever. He's open to ideas completely, and his attitude is so positive that, yeah, he's a great guy to have around. So I think he can make an immediate difference. Look, I think personally, he's been at Manchester City, okay, it wasn't going to work out from there. Go further back in his career, he was at Liverpool and Manchester United to begin. With the help of his mum, he then went to America and played out in New York and various places, then came back to England. So he's someone that's like far thinking and prepared to literally to go the extra mile to improve himself, and he's got his just rewards becoming a Premier League player, and he is of that quality, Steve, as well. I would class him as sort of like someone that can do a job certainly for Everton and into the middle of the Premier League. I'm not saying he's going to be top 6 ever in his career, but if he isn't, it won't be through the lack of effort. The guy's he's the total pro, Steve, so he can make a difference to a side when he arrives.
Adam, he's reached double figures once while at Leeds. Is this something that perhaps he needs to improve on, or is he seen more of a creator?
I think he's more of a creator. For me, he's very left-footed. He can use both. He has played down the middle a little bit when he's been asked to. I remember by Marcelo Bielsa. But he's not afraid, to sort of come in off the wing and strike at goal. So I think his return has been pretty good, to be honest. 34 goals over the time he's been at Leeds. And if you remember, he scored an absolutely amazing goal, Leeds' first goal back in the Premier League at Anfield, where he cut in off the left wing and scorched it home with his right foot. He is capable of that. Yeah, look, I think maybe he could score a few more goals, but I've got to say, scoring 5 last year and assisting that and a little bit more in a poor Premier League side, I think, sort of shows that the guy is capable of producing when it's required. And he'll always go down for Leeds fans, memorably scoring the goal at Brentford that, although as it turned out they didn't need to, but it certainly clinched their survival 2 seasons ago on the last day. He has that in his locker. He scored an absolute belter against Newcastle United once as well in a big win at Ellen Road. But yeah, I think more you'd want to look at him as making sure that he provides, more assists, I'd say. Personally, Steve, I'd say he's an upgrade on Dwight McNeil, who I know has been missing so far at the beginning of this season for Everton. I would see him as that. So I think all in all, great deal for Everton, and they really do have a guy that will be coming right into his prime now over the next few years if they can keep him beyond this season.
Yeah, Jack Harrison, excellent acquisition for Everton. Can play right, can play left. Really hard-working, very tenacious, good finisher, and will create opportunities as well. Let's get back to Derek Jones at Villa Park to just run through that Everton starting lineup once again. Derek.
Yeah, Everton with Pickford in goal, Patterson, Keane, Tarkowski and Young as the back four. In midfield, we've got Onana, we've got Vita Garner-Gay, James Garner and Alex Iwobi, and then Abdoulaye Doucouré playing behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. On the bench for the Blues, João Virginia is the goalkeeper, and then Danjuma, Maupay, Mikolenko, Godfrey, Branthwaite, Cannon, Dobbin and Onyango. So good news for the Blues. They've got their proper centre forward, the one they hope to have for the rest of the season, Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the starting lineup.
Yeah, and the way that Aston Villa play, they play a really high defensive line. If Everton can be good in possession, that in itself could create opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping so. I mean, Alex Iwobi, I thought, was excellent against Fulham last weekend, so hopefully he can continue driving towards the edge of the penalty area. And we know how good, if you get the crosses in, that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can be. So hopefully that can be a route for the Blues, and perhaps a little bit more from James Garner in an attacking sense this weekend as well. So two sides here, looking to bounce back from last weekend. I mean, Villa really stung by that 5-1 defeat at Newcastle. I know Newcastle didn't take anybody apart on their day, but they're really smarting after that. So they'll be hoping, of course, in front of their home fans, the first home game of the season here at Villa Park, that they can make sure they get the 3 points.
Derek Jones alongside Everton legend Barry Horn for full commentary on BBC Radio Merseyside. Aston Villa versus Everton, Radio Merseyside, the only station where you'll hear every Everton domestic match, home or away. Well, the good news this afternoon for Everton's big game at Villa Park is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin starts the match. Everton have been trying to bolster their strike force as well for a number of transfer windows, with DCL often sidelined, and there are suggestions that a £12 million bid has been made to Southampton for Shea Adams, who got the winning goal in stoppage time yesterday against Plymouth. The Blues manager Sean Dyche was actually asked about it at Finch Farm on Friday.
There's lots of conversations ongoing with a number of different areas that we hope to affect. No news at this stage about any of them.
There's been a lot of reports about Alex Iwobi's contract this week. Is there anything you can tell us on that? Any further updates?
No, just always open lines of communication. I've made that clear many times. I've spoken to Alex, and the club have spoken to his advisor. Just an ongoing situation amongst a number who still we're talking to.
I know you don't want to be drawn on incomings or outgoings, but are transfer windows getting even more difficult now?
Transfer windows tend to be difficult anyway, but if you're not got massive amounts of finance, because we've seen the numbers this summer. I mean, it wasn't so long ago during the pandemic, the back end of the pandemic, we're all saying, the market's going to change. Well, it certainly has changed. It's gone that way, a long way that way. So that's become the reality of it. So it's always challenging, money or no money, by the way. It's always challenging to get deals done.
And Chimiti, we're likely to see a debut anytime soon, and how's he getting?
Who's that, sorry?
Chimiti.
Oh no, he's come in a bit delayed from his games programme. We got 45 minutes in the week, so he's still adjusting and still adapting. He's very young, but he's adapting to the training, adapting to the playing. So he'll be a slow burner, I think, but he's going along nicely at the minute, just settling in.
Hi Sean, just with Chimiti coming in, what's the situation with Tom Cannon now? Is he someone who you may be looking to loan out?
No, he's only just got fit. He played 45 the other day, so we'll keep an eye on him and make sure that he's well.
Once you maybe do bolster the attack, is he someone who you maybe look to get back out in the Championship again? Obviously?
Yeah, well, we're keeping our minds open really at this stage. We haven't got a big squad, as everyone knows. We haven't got massive numbers of strikers, that's quite obvious. So no, he's in the building for now, and then we'll view it accordingly as the window sort of comes to the end.
Corner taken by Dwight McNeil, high towards Annan, and header from Tarkovsky! 1-0! Coleman up against Cook. Can the Everton captain get there first? He can. Has gone! Seamus Coleman has whipped it across, and he's fooled everybody! Dwight McNeil edge of the penalty area. Shot! Goal! Yes! Early doors! Dwight McNeil has given Everton the perfect start. Should it shot? Oh! Abdoulaye Doucouré! A goal from the goal!
BBC Radio Merseyside.
Let's get down to Villa Park now to join our commentary team on BBC Radio Merseyside. Everton legend Barry Horn and BBC Radio Merseyside's Derek Jones.
Thanks very much, Mike. Yeah, welcome to a very noisy Villa Park, as you would expect on the first home game of the season for them. And Barry Horn, as you say, alongside of me, Barry. And I mean, anybody can get thumped by Newcastle United, but 5-1 is not like a Unai Emery side, is it? Normally, he's got his side really well organised. No, Mings went off injured last week, but they'll want to bounce back here, certainly.
Absolutely. I'm not sure. I think we all expected Newcastle to do well again. There's no reason why they shouldn't. I'm not sure anybody would have seen that coming, to be honest. Least of all the Aston Villa players, fans and manager. They were well and truly walloped, weren't they? And as you say, totally not like an Unai Emery team, totally not like the Aston Villa, who were, I think, second only to Man City in the second half of the season last year in terms of the points gain. You know, a team that finished the season really, really strongly. So yeah, they will want to start the season here in front of a fabulous crowd. It's a great ground, isn't it? So they'll want to start the season off here well, not just in terms of the scoreline, but they'll want to put on a performance as well, because that's the reputation that they've built for themselves over since Unai Emery walked in the door 8, 9, 10 months ago, whatever it was. So yeah, Everton, it was a tough game this afternoon, there's no doubt about that. I was really heartened with a lot of what I saw last Saturday, but it was the old familiar failing, inability to stick the ball in the back of the net. So if we can play in the same manner up to the penalty area, we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who is our one proven Premier League striker, if you like. So hopefully Everton can repeat the performance with the addition of having a goal scorer on the pitch.
Well, let's hope that's the case. The two sides just sharing the pleasantries out in the middle there. Ashley Young having a good handshake and being welcomed to us by the Aston Villa players out there. Ashley Young, I thought, settled in really well for Everton last weekend as well, didn't he? You know, he's an experienced professional. He knows what it's all about, and you know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, he's had a fabulous career, and he's now a reliable, steady Eddie. You know, I don't think he's going to make too many goals. I don't think he's going to score too many goals, but neither will he make many mistakes.
Yeah, sometimes a calm head on the pitch can count for a lot, and let's hope that's the case here this afternoon. The Holt End away to our right-hand side, the big sign there saying Holt End, the 12th man. Well, they certainly are that here at Villa Park, and they had a really terrific final 7 home league games of the season last side, won every single one of their last 7 home league games, and finished the season really, really strongly. So they'll be hoping to push for a European place again. I'm sure about that. Let's just confirm those sides for you. So Everton with Jordan Pickford in goal, making his 250th league appearance. Nathan Patterson, who will be at right back, Ashley Young at left back, and then Michael Keane, James Tarkovsky, the captain, in the middle. And we've got James Garden, we've got Idrissa Gana Gueye alongside Amadou Onana, and then Alex Iwobi, who we think will play down the left hand side, and then Abdoulaye Doucouré in this advanced role that Sean Dyche put him in towards the end of last season, very successfully of course, and this time behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. On the bench for the Blues, João Virginia's the goalkeeper, Arnaud Danjuma, Neil Maupay, Vitaly Mikolenko, Ben Godfrey, Jared Branthwaite, Thomas Cameron, Lewis Dobbin and Tyler Onyango. Villa, well, Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper, of course, World Cup winner, but well practiced in the dark arts, we know that as well. Matty Cash, Esri Konsa, Douglas Luiz, a lot of clubs interested in him during the close season as well, the midfielder. John McGinn, their captain, Ollie Watkins, Luca Dean, making his 300th league appearance, and of course he made 113 of those for the Blues. Pau, Moussa Diaby got the goal at Newcastle last week, Leon Bailey and Boubacar Kamara, that's their starting 11. On the bench, two substitute goalkeepers, Robin Olsen, who of course was at the Blues for a while, wasn't he, on loan, and Philip Marchal, Diego Carlos, Yuri Tielemans, Bertrand Traore, Callum Chambers, Philippe Coutinho, of course, who spent a lot of time on Merseyside, John Duran and Cameron Archer, and our referee for this one is going to be Anthony Taylor. Gary Bezic, Adam Nunn, the assistant referees. The fourth official is Robert Madley, and then Darren England and Timothy Wood are on VAR duties. Let's hope that doesn't cause us any issues in this game. But it's going to be Villa who are going to kick off. Villa will be attacking the Holt End in this first half. And the famous claret and blue. Everton all in blue for this one. And it's Villa in possession straight away with Louise, who plays it to his right hand side to Matty Cash. An adventurous fullback, Matty Cash, likes to get forward, so perhaps Alex Iwobi might see some space behind him this afternoon. But Bailey making some progress down this near side, plays it in towards Watkins, right into the penalty, drills it in low across the 6-yard box. Player arriving at the far post is Luca Dean, and it takes a deflection behind for a corner. Really bright start by Villa.
That's the first chance of the game. Good play from Leon Bailey. I mean, I remember being here 2 years ago, and he caused Everton for 25-30 minutes all sorts of problems, and they're fabulous bit of skill, change of pace, and all of a sudden they were in behind. Great ball across the box. Fortunately for Everton, nobody there to put it home.
Deflected behind for a corner, which will be taken wide on the left hand side. Front of the whole 10 that's packed to the rafters for this one. Sell out here at Villa Park. Referee Taylor blows his whistle. It's played short towards the edge of the penalty area. John McGuinness there, a captain, just feints and then trips it in towards the far post. Well, he's rather got the ball stuck under his feet. He took a deflection on the way through, but he's such a clever player as John McGinn.
I like him. I know he's had his detractors in the past. He's got the armband back. I think he's a really, really good player. That was a well-worked corner routine, actually. I think the ball was meant to go back out wide again to Douglas Luiz. Everton read it, so McGinn just adapted and got himself another corner. Here we go again.
Short circle taken again. Luca Dean has now curls it in with his left foot, headed away from danger there. Breaks into the penalty area, only as far as Diaby. Then it's curled back in again, and Everton hacked the ball away from danger in the end towards the halfway line. And now they have possession on that far side with James Garner. Garner turns in field and then looks to angle the ball away on this near side. That's a good ball, looking for Iwobi. Trying to get back to cover him as Kamara. Iwobi curls the ball in, but no height on it. Doesn't get beyond the first defender really. Good crossing position, but didn't make the best of it.
Fabulous crossfield ball from Garner. Found Iwobi in loads of space. The only good thing to come out of that was Calvert-Lewin was in the right place. Just the cross from Iwobi wasn't what was required. Hit the first man.
Ashley Young there, just playing the ball calmly back to his captain Tarkowski. The ball away on that far side, and now with Michael Keane. Nathan Patterson, another player, likes to get forward and tries to find Doucouré's run down that far side, but it's cut out. But now Doucouré has the chance again to turn in field. Good strength by Doucouré, gets it wide to Patterson, and eventually it's walked back to Keane on halfway. Tarkowski inside the centre circle again, the angled ball looking for Iwobi down this left-hand touchline. This time Matty Cash is close to him and stands in his way. Referee says no obstruction, and has a chance for Villa to break through with Kamara. He's got support to his right-hand side from Bailey again. Leon Bailey just slows things down and turns in field.
As soon as that ball came across from the right back position to Tarkowski, he had one thing on his mind: could he get the ball to Iwobi? So that's the first two serious possessions that Everton have had. They've looked to get the ball out here to Iwobi. Sean Nash has obviously recognised that he will be given space if he stays wide. Matty Cash playing very narrow at the moment.
Yeah, he was effective in that position against Fulham last week, wasn't he, Alex Iwobi? And saw a lot of the ball then, but Matty Cash likes to get forward. I mean, that's his natural instinct, so there might be a bit of space down this side, as Barry says.
He's another player I really like as well, Matty Cash. And Unai Emery was able to get the best out of all of these players, wasn't he, when he came mid-season last year.
No Tyrone Mings, of course, in their defence today. He had that horrible knee injury at Newcastle last weekend, so wish him all the best for that, certainly. But he'd be a miss. He's, like Barry was saying about the problems over the captaincy, and John McGinn and Mings was part of that scenario as well, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It seemed an unhappy club, didn't it, for every reason. On the pitch, off the pitch, there's stories coming out about the captaincy, and the players weren't happy with the way things were being done, and it's amazing the difference, the new manager, the impact that he can make just walking in and just changing one or two basic things.
Everton throw, edge of the Villa penalty area in as far as Doucouré, and then he's been penalised then for putting his arm out, and the Villa player just stayed on the deck for a moment there. The ball bounced up a little bit high there for Abdoulaye Doucouré, but I think he was just trying to protect the ball, but he's caught the Villa player in the face.
I don't think there's any intent there whatsoever. Everything's in a natural position. Douglas Luiz sort of walked onto Doucouré's right arm, and he just took one in on the end of the nose, I think. Brought a few tears to his eyes, but he'd be okay.
You know that yourself, when you bash yourself on the end of a nose, it always brings tears to your eyes, no matter what the strength of it is. Free kick taken now. Back to Martinez, the goalkeeper. Just rolls it out to his left-hand side, and Powell will just carry the ball forward a little bit, naturally left-footed, and plays it to his right-hand side there to Konsa. Happy there just to play the ball around rather slowly and Almost got caught out there by Onana, who got a foot in, and this time Martinez has to clear the ball quickly up towards the halfway line. Everton in possession again though, with Garner Gay. Comes back as far as Tarkowski. This time the angled ball is looking down the right hand touchline and looking for the run there of James Garner.
Everton were in the game after that shaky start when Villa came down the right hand side and forced a series of corners. Everton have very much got themselves in the game now.
Garner takes the ball from the throw in, then heads down the far touch, and he's got a bit of space now for the cross in. He's just hesitated a moment, he got a block and then cleared away by Concert. And Everton can recycle it, edge of the penalty area, cleared away again, and they're under a lot of pressure here, but again working hard there is Amadou Onana to win the ball back and get it back towards Tarkowski, now with Ashley Young. Got a chip ball forward by him, looking for Calvert-Lewin's run, trying to get the wrong side of his mark, which he did there, but the strength of the battle was certainly there, won by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but just too much pace on the pass in the end, and it went behind for a goal kick.
It's a hard ball for anybody to play. Ashley Young in the left back position, trying to play a ball into the left hand channel with his right foot. It's always curling away from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. It's not curling into his run, and there was the space wasn't in behind. It was the wrong pass selection there.
Good to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin though.
No, it's good to see him on the
using
pitch.
His strength there against the defender, wasn't he, to put him under pressure.
He's willing to run in behind. He's been in when Everton have got the ball wide on 2 occasions. He's been in the right position between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box, waiting for the cross.
Powell on that far side now with Douglas Luiz, seems to have recovered from that little knock in the face he got from Abdoulaye Doucouré, and now back with Konsa. They're just having to sit at the moment and trying to draw Everton towards them, but Everton keeping their shape. Bailey again down the right hand touchline, but can only go infield, and it's almost as if he's moving the players. Emery's on the touchline there inside Stendhal, and he's pointing here and there and everywhere, almost telling them where to put the next pass.
Yeah, players don't generally take any notice.
I'm sure you didn't, Barry.
I've got to be perfectly honest. If they don't know what they're doing now, 10-12 minutes into the game, they haven't done the work in the week, have they? It's slow from Villa at the moment, and
it's painfully slow, isn't it?
I've got to give Everton credit for that. They're closing down in midfield superbly.
Bailey again, tight to this near touchline. He's got Iwobi there close to him, but he tries to pass the ball inside for a 1-2. Wasn't going to work out. There were too many blue shirts in the way, and Garner Gay has it. Plays it wide to Ashley Young now. Again, Iwobi is just tight. It's gone long again, looking for Calvert-Lewin between the 2 central defenders, but Martinez outside his penalty area can clear the danger. And his clearance fortunately falls for John McGinn. He's got players pulling away towards his left hand side. Ollie Watkins, he can be dangerous around the edge of the penalty area. Watkins back as far as the edge of the penalty area, but Diaby's shot goes high and ends up in the Holt end. But that's the danger, I suppose, is when they just pick up the pace and play between the lines quickly.
Out of nothing. It's a ball forward from Ashley Young over the top. On this occasion there was space for Calvert-Lewin to run into. Martinez spotted the danger, one pass into midfield, and then a strong run from John McGinn. I have to say, really good run. Watkins set up for Diaby, and he should have done a lot better. He should have worked Jordan Pickford there. Shot high and wide.
Calvert-Lewin was a good header there, wide to Doucouré. I played it looking for him again. This time Konsa was in the way and gets it away, but only as far as Doucouré again. And the cross comes in. Calvert-Lewin was there, collides with the goalkeeper. The ball bounces behind Martinez, who was heading towards the goal line, but cleared away by Matty Cash anyway. But certainly a clash there between Calvert-Lewin and the goalkeeper. Quite reasonably to go for it. It was a good ball in by Doucouré, but the keeper and DCL have ended up on the deck.
It was a good ball in. Martinez, very good goalkeeping. He's just outside the 6-yard box. That's not a long way to come, but the pace on the ball meant he had to pick up the flight of that really, really quickly, and he was there to catch it. Calvert-Lewin was never going to get it, to be honest with you. I'm not quite sure why he's committed himself so fully to that, because Martinez had the ball more or less. The ball was in contact with his hands. He was just about to gather it. Calvert-Lewin's ran into him, and
he's the one on the deck as well, isn't he? And Martinez has got to his feet.
That's because I think Calvert-Lewin's head made contact with Martinez's chest, shoulder. So Calvert-Lewin's always going to come out second best in that one. He's a big, strong lad, Martinez. And Calvert-Lewin wouldn't have been expecting that contact. Martinez would have had he would have been expected. He can see Calvert-Lewin coming on to him. I'm not sure Calvert-Lewin was aware that Martinez was where he was, so that will have come as a big shock to him. So his neck, his shoulder, he will not have been preparing himself for that contact, and he's obviously come out second best.
Yeah, close-up shots sort of showing the physios looking at his nose and his mouth area. There was any blood around there, but encouraging down the right hand side there for Everton. And as you said, it was a really good ball in by Abdullah Curry, wasn't it?
And again, Calvert-Lewin was where he should have been. So was Martinez. Very, very strong goalkeeping. Calvert-Lewin's okay. Physio's giving the thumbs up.
It's a worry time every time he goes down now, isn't it?
Yeah,
what's happened to him?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's, as you say, doing what a centre forward should do, and perhaps that's what Everton misses, is somebody who knows where to run, know where the danger areas are, and really make a nuisance of himself.
And be able to finish when he gets there. Everton made countless, I think it was 9, wasn't it, chances. It was reported as, they made good chances, one-on-ones, great positions that just required a finish, just required a goal scorer's touch. So yes, getting there is one thing, but then of course putting the ball in the back of the net is the most important thing.
12 minutes gone at Villa Park. Exclusive local radio commentary here on BBC Radio Merseyside. Me, Derek Jones, and Barry Horn alongside of me. Still no goals in this one, and Villa just that threat in the opening minute really, but since then Everton have really stifled what Villa want to do. And we'll see that again now as contrast to go back towards Martinez inside his 6-yard box and trying to be really clever with the ball. Gets it to Douglas Luiz, but I just wonder that
he doesn't lack confidence, Martinez, does he?
He doesn't lack confidence, no.
He got the ball stuck under his feet a little bit there, and if Everton were just a little bit sharper to close down the edge of the box.
Now it's Diaby again on the edge of the penalty area, right as far as Bailey on the right hand side, and I think one of them should have pulled the trigger then, but there was one pass too many.
That's another good position for Villa. 4 people in the penalty area, and you're right, one pass too many.
Pickford with the high clearance. Curry gets his head to it, cashes underneath it, tried to just cushion the ball away on this near side, but Bailey's had to come back, and he's put under a lot of pressure here by Ashley Young. Eventually Bailey does get it back as far as Martinez, but Iwobi's going to make sure that he's under pressure again. Played away on that far side by Powell, and then up towards the halfway line, but Michael Keane is really strong there to win the ball back on the halfway line, and has he won himself a throw on that far side? Nobody seems to be sure at the moment. The assistant eventually says that's going to be a throw to Aston Villa, but good defending there by Michael Keane to win the ball.
Yeah, good defending. He's gone. He's followed Ollie walking in. He's engaged and tight on the halfway line. That's the type of ball that Everton, that Villa have made chances from already in the game. Essentially a good clearance, finding a Villa player up the pitch, and Everton aren't quite ready for it. But on that occasion, Keane was tight and he saw the danger out.
Villa give the ball away to Ashley Young, and then Idrissa Gana Gueye gets it wide to Iwobi. He's not had a run at Matty Cash just yet, and that time he tried to use his quick feet, didn't quite work out. Villa rotate around, and then Bailey goes to ground, and then a strong challenge coming in by Ashley Young again, who wins the ball back. Gets away from one chance, now he's pulled down. That's going to be
well played.
A free kick, but he was really positive there, was Ashley Young, and that's a yellow card already for Douglas Luiz.
Well played, Ashley Young. Fabulous tackle, absolutely brilliant tackle in midfield. And then he had the confidence to take it on and draw the foul from Luiz. It was a foul. It was a clear foul, hence the yellow card, which the foul it halted the progress of a good move there, because Iwobi was young. I'm certain would have played Iwobi in with his next touch, and Luiz just pulled him back to make sure he didn't go any further.
Yeah, showing the skills that he used to have when he played as an attacker rather than a full-back there, actually. Young little feints one way and the other, and certainly fooled Douglas Luiz into committing the foul and getting a booking. So Garner and Young are over the ball. Looks like James Garner's going to be trusted with this one. 5 blue shirts on the line are on the edge of the D in towards the far post. It's well worked to that one. It's headed back in, but that was a well worked free kick by Everton. There's where the referee saw a bit of blocking somewhere. I'm not too sure about that. It happens every day. The free kick's being given, but Onana got himself free, didn't he, beyond the far post?
Yeah, was it not? I don't know. Was it offside or was it?
I didn't see a flag go up, but he was in so much space, wasn't he, Onana, when he headed it?
He was in acres of space beyond the far post, which made me think he must have gone too early.
Luiz now carrying the ball forward for Villa, gets it wide eventually to Bailey on this near side, comes back to Diaby, edge of the penalty area. Played back as far as Kamara, wide to Bailey again. Faced by Iwobi, comes in field, and then again blue shirts are there, and then Onana trying to stop Cash going forward. Sliding challenge comes in the end there from Ashley Young, who's certainly fired up for this one. Ashley Young and out for a throw.
Fantastic, love that sliding tackle, brilliant. Two great tackles from the fullback.
But again, they got themselves in a decent position, Villa, but then there were so many blue shirts covering all the gaps that they might want to play into, that Everton were able to deal with it reasonably easily. Throw's been taken, neat little back heel on that far side, but again, good covering by Young, who clears the ball down this near touchline. That's the Everton left, and then Iwobi passes the ball forward.
I'm not quite sure what Iwobi's panicked a little bit there. He should have taken a touch. Everton have got nobody in the Villa half. Iwobi's just giving the ball back to them. And he wasn't under that much pressure, to be honest. But Ashley Young is already a contender for man of the match.
Pulled back with Matty Cash. And let's hope Barry's right. He's going to score the winner this afternoon against his former club. Ball away on that far side, picked up by Pau. Just inside his own half, but again just wanders forward with the ball and stands still for a second or two before playing it back towards Conser. Now he's going to get the ball back. Ball down the touchline is a possibility. Luca Dean is there. Back as far as Pau again. But it's so slow from Villa. Just those one or two breaks they had from beginning midfield. But now they might have a bit of space for Diaby. Drives on towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays it wide as far as Bailey. Bailey heads towards the dead ball line. Chips the ball in, and it's turned in at the near post. And Villa have themselves the lead, and it is their captain John McGinn who's turned it in. But it was slow, but eventually to Bailey. He feinted to come inside, went towards the dead ball line, and as he played the ball in, McGinn arrived at the near post to turn it into the back of the net. We've had 18 minutes here, and Aston Villa have the lead. John McGinn the goal scorer. Aston Villa 1, Everton 0.
Yeah, slow, and then quick. Little interchange in midfield. Ball forward, and when it comes to Bailey on the right hand side, he's inside Everton's penalty area. It's a right-footed cross, and got to give John McGinn great credit. He was involved earlier in the move, and he's continued his run, and he arrives just at the near post, perfectly timed, touches it home inside his right foot. Jordan picks his net. It's a well-worked goal. Every goal, of course, there's somebody's to blame, somebody's switched off. Sometimes you've got to give the attacking team credit. Everything there was, the timing of each pass was perfect, the cross was perfect, the run from McGinn was perfect. I think the only place Everton might have done better there was to make Bailey work hard on that right hand side. He was in a lot of space when the ball was fed out to him, and then it was just a little bit too easy to get to the byline and whip that cross in.
We talked about the pedestrian nature of Villa's play so far, but they put the pace into that attack certainly, and they'll get themselves the opening goal. Now Garner, Patterson's joined in this time down the right hand touchline, back as far as Garner again. That support, apart from the first minute, has been a pretty positive start by the Blues. Curl ball in by Keane, and well, hesitation there, and Iwobi will collect it tight to the dead ball line. Curls the cross in, then Doucouré was trying to get his left foot around the ball. It's a little bit behind him there, didn't quite.
It's a chance though. He should have done better with that.
Now Diaby will try and drive forward, but well won back by Garner Gay inside the centre circle. Again the angled ball looking for Iwobi down the left hand touchline. Again it finds him, and faced by Cash. Curls the ball in, looking for Calvert-Lewin. Luiz gets a touch in, and then the header forward by Garner. That's going to be easy this time for Martinez to pick out. But as you say, certainly a good half chance for Doucouré. It was a little bit behind him, wasn't it?
It was behind him, but it was strikeable, and if you can swivel on that and make a good contact. The problem was it was his weaker foot, and he didn't get a good contact. And Iwobi again, big switch of play from Garner, terrific switch of play. He's picked out a player in the middle, and that's another half chance. Ashley Young's just hobbling a little bit, I think.
He's been in a couple of strong challenges already, hasn't he, Ashley Young? So he certainly needs to be at full fitness with Bailey down this right hand side this afternoon. You mentioned about John McGinn's movement there to get it, as you say. I mean, there were certainly four blue shirts near that near post, but you've got to be clever to do it. You can't. You should track them, and that's the mistake. But it's great running by him.
And Bailey is isolated one-on-one. Ashley was not left-footed, so that's when he goes on the outside, that's not his strong side. He's got to the byline. Everything about that bit of the move was perfect.
McGinn going forward again. He's shrugged off the challenge of Anana and still goes on. Eventually Patterson up full strength behind for a corner.
And yes, he should pick up the runners. Somebody should have been. But when a player times his run like that and the ball is delivered into his path in motion, it's you got to say it's a great goal from Villa's point of view.
Corner to Villa then again. McGinn instrumental in driving Villa forward. He seems to know to go one way when he picks up the ball. He does like to drive at defenders, commit them, and he's won Villa a corner left hand side again. Everton with everybody back inside the penalty area. I'm never quite so sure about that, whether they should always leave just one person outside, but that's the modern way. Again, the short corner, which leaves plenty of space and time now for Luca Dean just to curl one in. Headed away well in the end by Garner. I think he got his head to it, but only as far as Matty Cash. Left edge of the penalty area. Curls the ball in, free header in the end, and a little touch goal was, did it go in? Well, it was touched forward by Ollie Watkins. The referee will know whether it crossed the goal line or not. And the referee will have had a signal if that's the case. Just looking to see whether
giving a free kick.
There was a flag up for a free kick.
For the challenge on Pickford. He stopped play, the referee.
He says stop play, so he's going to look at I presume VAR have got involved here.
VAR if it's a goal or not, because he gets an automatic buzz. Is he saying there's a dangerous... I don't think that's crossed the line anyway.
The referee's got a signal, don't they, on their watch about whether it's crossed the line. Crossed the line, they do, don't they? That's right, yeah.
It's a separate piece of technology.
Yeah. And is that about whether Pickford clattered?
I think it's more likely that Watkins has gone with a high boot with Pickford. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking the referee's given. It's really, really unclear at the moment.
Yeah, and then because
the referee clearly stopped the game.
Yeah, and Watkins got his boot to the ball first, didn't he?
I didn't see a flag.
Yeah.
So it's either a foul on Watkins or it's a foul by Watkins.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how the referee's viewed that. I thought Watkins went with a high foot. Did Pickford get the ball or?
No, he didn't get the ball at all. So the referee has said it's a penalty to Villa.
Penalty. Okay, well.
So it's going to be a penalty.
Hence the big cheer from the whole end. They'd obviously seen a signal that we've missed from the referee, and I presume the delay was for a VAR check, which I've got no idea because I didn't see anything coming up on the screen.
Pickford. So Pickford caught Watkin after the ball had gone, I think, even though his foot was high. Watkin. Pickford clattered into the player, and that's what it's been given for. So Douglas Luiz, though, with the opportunity to make it 2-0 to Villa. Holt End. Pickford on his line. 250th Premier League appearance for Jordan Pickford today. Luiz comes forward. Pickford goes the right way to his left-hand side, but it hits the back of the net. And 25 minutes into this one, Villa have a second from the penalty spot.
How quickly that's all happened, and how team 2-0 up after 24 minutes. You think they've been dominant and they've had loads of possession, but it's not really been like that at all, to be honest with you. But you have to say that Villa have attacked with more purpose than Everton. When they have attacked, they've been more incisive, they've got more pace throughout the team, and they've got people arriving into dangerous areas with more intent. That's it. I'm just watching the replay now. That's a soft penalty.
Yeah.
I get that Watkins got to the ball before Pickford. I'm not entirely convinced how much contact there was between Pickford and Watkins. Keeper, I've got to say, wasn't really anywhere near the ball. I don't think he was ever going to get there. So maybe maybe he shouldn't have come for it. It was a simple ball in. It wasn't a fabulous cross in. Little knockdown header into the 6-yard box. Watkins reacted quicker than any of the defenders, including Pickford. He's got a touch on it. Pickford's made some contact, and the VAR, I'm guessing, gave it because of the delay. They've deemed it to be a penalty, which Ruiz tucked away quite convincingly, I've got to say. So Everton got it all to do. 25 minutes gone.
Yep, trailing 2-0. And there's not been too many chances, but McGinn reacted quickly inside the penalty area. Then Watkins has done the same. Got himself the penalty. Iwobi with a left wing corner for Everton towards the far post. This time Martinez does come and claim that one in front of a load of bodies. Calm things down. But Watkins certainly was on the move when the header was forward, wasn't it? And he got his foot to the ball first. His foot was high, there's no doubt about that, as he flicked it over the goalkeeper. Didn't cross the goal line, but Pickford catching him after the ball had gone. And referee Anthony Taylor, with the aid of VAR, deciding that was a penalty to Aston Villa. And even though he went to his left-hand side, which is the correct way from the penalty, Jordan Pickford, 2-0 Villa. Applause in the 26th into this one. Forever in our hearts is the flag on the far side of the pitch here for Malcolm Jones, who died so tragically. But here come Villa on the attack again now with Bailey. It's got away from Garner Gay, turns infield, still lays the ball back towards the penalty area, then it's curled in. A good save by Pickford in the end from Diaby, but Everton were opened up down this right hand side again. Barry Horn.
It's that man again, isn't it, Leon Bailey? He's running right down the right hand side. His pace, his trickery, and he's setting his teammates up brilliantly again. For me, possibly one pass too many. He's cut back, he's rolled it across the penalty area. It could have been a right-footed finish. Instead it was a little set-up for a left-footed finish. Should have been a goal. Should have been a goal from there. It was too close to Pickford. Pickford's made a routine save down to his right, but it should have been a goal.
So Villa in control scoreline wise. Don't say they've been in control completely throughout the game, but Sean Dyche there has had a lot of conversations with the fourth official, particularly over that penalty decision that was given, and he was just asking whether Calvert-Lewin's okay after that blow they received a little bit earlier on. But now Luca Dean's behind the defence. Patterson trying to get back, goes down inside the penalty area, and this time the referee says that isn't a penalty. Just got the wrong side there of Nathan Patterson though for a moment, and you just have to worry in those circumstances.
He's felt some contact from Patterson. He's collapsed, hasn't he? But this day and age,
you just don't know these days, do you, Barry?
It wouldn't be absolutely gobsmacked if somebody sitting in a porter cabin somewhere deemed that to be a penalty. There was contact. Dean was going absolutely nowhere, and he knew that, and he's just gone down so easily.
Calvert-Lewin just caught Kamara from the wrong side, and it's going to be a free kick Aston Villa's way. But they're having a bit of joy down the flanks, Villa. That's the sort of stretching the play, as you say, with Bailey.
It's the right side, isn't it, primarily, with people arriving. Even Luca Dean's getting in the penalty area.
Paul with Villa. It's okay. Kamara got up pretty quickly, didn't need any treatment. Now with Luca Dean down that left-hand touchline. Tries to play the 1-2 there with McGinn. Just keeps the ball in play, and eventually it does go out, and that's going to be a throw for Everton. But certainly John McGinn's been at the heart of everything that's been good about Villa. Certainly that stop-start play, which Unai Emery seems to favour, certainly, but when they move forward quickly, McGinn is the catalyst for all that, isn't he?
He has been. He's been the one who's moved them from defence into attack on a number of occasions. A couple of times he'll have cleared the ball with a pass vaguely in his direction. He's managed to gain control, and as you said earlier, his first thought is, can I go forwards? That's always a good midfield. That's what a good midfielder always thinks. Can I go forward?
Everton being forced back a little bit more now. Obviously been stunned by those two Villa goals. There's Ashley Young, who seems to have recovered from that knock he got a little bit earlier on. Back to Pickford, and then with Michael Keane. How could everyone respond? They did a goal, certainly. That would change the complexion again, certainly. And towards James Garner. Wide to Patterson, infield towards Garner again on the slide, but Pass was ahead of him, he's never going to get there. That's sloppy play, and now Calvert-Lewin heads towards the dead ball line, tries to pull it back towards Doucouré, but there was only him there, and Villa can clear the danger.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin's done well actually. He's got to the byline, decent turn of pace, he's cut it back, but there wasn't the numbers there. If that was the reverse situation that Villa would have had in there.
Now Villa will try and break again with Matty Cash, but he slows things down and plays the ball.
They're quite happy to slow down. I mean, Matty Cash there, Iwobi was out of the game. He was in the penalty area. Everton 3 players out of the game: Doucouré, Calvert-Lewin, and Iwobi. And you think Villa would be wanting to get forward quickly, but no, they're quite happy to slow it down, and they allowed Iwobi to get back in.
In possession now, will be left edge of the penalty area. That's a poor cross against the arms of Martinez.
That's just a cross where he's thinking, I don't really want to be responsible. Just lack of he's not taking responsibility there. He knows that's not a crossing position. He knows before he even does that ball's only going one place, and that's into the keeper's arms.
Could have driven on, I suppose, couldn't he? And committed the fullback.
He can take the fullback on, he can stop, he can come back to Ashley Young and start again. But sometimes it's like, well, I'll just put a cross in and it looks like I've done something positive, but no, you haven't. You've just given the ball away.
Ashley Young, they're just making sure that Diaby couldn't get forward down this near side. The referee would have nothing to do with that at all, and Everton have possession again. It's like a large part of this opening 32 minutes. Everton have been really comfortable, and they've certainly caused 1 or 2 problems for the Villa defence, but undone by McGinn's quickness of thought inside the penalty area when he got on the end of that cross from Bailey, and then it's going to be a yellow card this time for Luca Dean, is it? Yes. Yeah.
Feigning shock horror, he knew exactly what he was doing. Lovely little turn from Garner. He's just let the ball run across his body, and he's taken 2 players out there, one of them being Dean, so he's out of position, so he just pulls him back.
That's 2 Villa players that have been booked when an Everton player's got the wrong side of them. Picking the ball away on halfway there of Everton, and now a chance for Watkins to drive forward. He's got a bit of pace about him as well, but Michael Keane just stands tall, and Watkins bounces off of him. But Dean wins the header, and McGinn, 360-degree turn then from John McGinn, gets it wide to Dean. Now the cross comes in, goes on the far post and hits the inside of the post there with a volley that came in from Diaby. Well, that was a terrific strike as the ball sort of dropped, but it started with that 360-degree turn by John McGinn, then Dean's cross in, and then Diaby, well, he caught that one perfectly, didn't he? And it just bounced off the inside of the post.
Save.
Did he get a touch there, Pickford?
Got a really, really good save. That's a really, really difficult skill. The ball's coming across your body, it's dropping. To make that sort of contact, it was swerving. He's hit it with the outside of his right foot, it's swerving away from Jordan Pickford, and he's pushed it onto the post. That's a great save.
Corner take. Now McGinn will curl the ball back in, but it's gone wide. But another clever corner from Villa.
Corners, haven't they?
With a few variations.
And each one has ended up with a good ball into the penalty area. McGinn on the volley, helping it into the danger area, but that's a fabulous strike from Diaby and a fabulous save from Jordan Pickford.
That could have been 3-0. Villa again have possession on halfway. McGinn again, who lurks around the centre circle, but makes sure then the ball gets moved pretty quickly. Now with Cash, Bailey's made a run beyond Ashley Young. Cash forward, then checks, then
he'll have to come out now.
Keeps possession.
Leon Bailey went inside, offering Cash the space to take his man on him. Chose not to. So Villa slow, and then there'll be one pass forward that breaks the line, and they'll be away.
Dean on that far side again. McGinn was forward of him, but he decides to come back to halfway again, and they will try again through Powell, and then Conser to his right hand side, Cash on this near side. Gus goes as far as Consi's. There's a lot of chasing around here, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, without seeing the ball very much at the moment.
He's not a great deal to work with, is he?
Ball now with
there you go.
Douglas Luiz now. Dean's in space down the left hand side. Patterson's across there with him. The cross comes in deep towards the far post, headed over his shoulder there by Ashley Young, but Bailey will retrieve it as well.
It's been well, Bailey.
Cash. Ball will come wide to him again. Bailey in the field again, back as far as Matty Cash now, right edge of the penalty area. He's going to play the ball backwards again, is he? Yes, he is.
So they're in a crossing position there. They choose not to put the ball in. It wasn't right. That's the way they've been coached. So pass, 5 or 6 passes in that little triangle. It's not opening up, so they come out.
Get your head up, have a look, and then make the decision.
Calvert-Lewin's gone down, which, well, they're treating his face, which is good news. Nope, he's coming off.
He's going to come off,
He's coming off after 36 minutes. He's coming off. I don't think it's hamstring. I don't think it's anything to do with his lower body. They're looking solely at his face.
Well, he said he clattered into Martinez, didn't he, when he was going for that cross in from Doucouré? There's no doubt about that. It took a little bit of a while for him to get to his feet, but he's very, very over concussion these days, don't you? That's the danger, isn't it, Barry?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's got he was right eye there. He was putting the
cheekbone, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, the ice pack too. Yeah, it's on the right side of his face. There's no doubt about that. Well, that's affected his vision a little bit as well. The camera view we're getting ears from the other side. That's not very helpful either for Barry. He's walked his way towards this near touchline. Everton will make a substitution. It's going to be Arnaud Danjuma, I think, who's going to come on to take his place. Saw a little bit of him last weekend. So Danjuma will come on.
He's got a swell. He's got a big swelling on his cheekbone. There's something happened off the ball. Yeah, and there's blood on the ice pack. He's got a really. That's come up.
Since it's happened, doesn't it? Yeah.
Have we missed something there? I don't know. While the player's going down, I didn't see anything, but that swelling looks like it's come up really, really quickly. There's blood on the ice pack, so I'm a bit confused there. I think we've missed something.
The second challenge he's gone for since he had the clash with Martinez, perhaps that's caused that, Barry.
No, I think there's something that's a new. Looking at the way that's come up, it was massive. His cheekbone was really, really deformed as he was walking off.
Who is with a free kick anyway? Dean in towards the edge of the penalty area. Kamara is forced away from goal there, and then again. Plays it wide to Dean on the left hand side, gets his cross in again towards the near post, and a little thick header, and a full stretch there as well. Well, at the near post it was Conser, I think, or Pow that arrived, and it flicked off his head towards the far post, and the flag went up for offside in the end, fortunately.
Watkins, I think, has collided with the post, trying to turn that in. Again, another just a lightning attack from Villa out of nothing. They've got a chance on Everton's goal. Ball goes out to the left. Dean doesn't think about it, whips it in, good cross, and it reaches Watkins on the far post, and he can't control his shot. I think he was offside anyway, but all he could do was hook it away from the goal. I think he was offside anyway.
Yeah, I think the touch that Pow got at the near post made he was offside, didn't it, at the far post, and it wouldn't have counted anyway, but he seems to be okay. And Villa back in possession again. 6 minutes to the break. Villa 2, Everton 0. Goals from McGinn, and the penalty from Douglas Luiz, separating the two sides at the moment. Martinez hasn't really had a save to make. That one clever crossing by Doucouré that ended with a clash.
Sorry, Danjuma's on, by the way. We haven't mentioned that Sean Dyche has replaced Calvert-Lewin with number 10, Danjuma.
Pulled back with Martinez. So Danjuma will just occupy the Calvert-Lewin role. We'll wait and see. Looks like it might be at the moment. Cash down the near touchline, looking for Bailey again, headed away from danger by Tarkowski and out for a throw. And they'll be quite happy with the situation here, Villa, and now they are creating more opportunities and threatening that Everton goal again. One terrific save by Pickford to stop that volley by Diaby, turned onto a post. The finding space down both sides. Luca Dean getting forward more and more as the half's gone on. Luis back as far as Concert, just to his left hand side. Pow, everybody inside the Everton half. You've got Dean to his left hand side, plenty of space for him. Comes back to halfway again. As you say, Barry, that's the coaching, isn't it? If there isn't a pass that's worth playing, just keep possession and wait until it is.
If you consider what the left-footed cross that Iwobi put in, where there's no blue shirts in the box, he wasn't set up to cross it. He had to, the position of Matty Cash was such that the ball was only ever going to go to Martinez, and then you look at the positions that Matty Cash or Bailey have been in on this right hand side, and thought, no, we're not ready. We're not in position. It's going to be a 40-60 ball or a 50-50 ball. No, we'll keep the ball and make the odds better in our favour. That's I remember Brian Clough he almost didn't let his players cross the ball. It was like, no, wait. To a certain degree, Man City do that, don't they? They don't put the ball in and give you centre forward a 25-75 ball. They wait until it's a pass. And the number of times they've got into position, Villa today, rolled the ball into the penalty area, and I think that Villa should be 2 or 3 more goals to the good.
Villa throw on their left hand side, 10 yards outside their penalty area. Just taking their time here. Ball is played infield. It's head out of play on that far side by Diaby. The ball's out of play on that far side. Throw it to Patterson will take. Wide on that right hand touchline. Everton to steal a goal out of nowhere at the end of this first half, just to give them something to go into the dressing room with and think about for the second period. That would be great, but at the moment Villa certainly controlling it. Inside the centre circle, there is Bailey this time. This time he's got Cash on his outside, but decides just to keep possession again.
Field, Matt Cash is now a right winger. Can't get the ball to him. Okay, let's get our shape back. Now Dean is the left winger, and he's in possession.
Dean back as far as Luis again. Under pressure there from Doucouré. It's not going to be forced off the ball though, Douglas Luiz, and goes back towards the halfway line. Now with Konsa. Cash to his right hand side. Faced by Iwobi, little chip ball forward there, and Watkins has got between 2 defenders there. In the end, Tarkowski gets back and is able to clear the danger, but it was a little bit too easy there, the space for Watkins. Now a chance for Everton to break with Danjuma, perhaps the substitute, on in place of Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Free kick.
His shirt being tugged there for a moment, and no foul has been given, but he still has possession as Danjuma brings Doucouré into it. Now Everton are getting some blue shirts forward. Doucouré goes wide to that far side to Garner, back as far as Patterson. Onana, angle ball looking for Iwobi. It's actually Young who gets forward down this left hand side. Young, placed by Cash. Young to the dead ball line. It's a decent looking cross towards the far post, and nobody attacking it. It's headed away, headed back in there by
2 minds.
Onana, but that's going to be easy for the goalkeeper.
He's not in 2 minds. I'm not sure he's got anything in his mind there, Onana, because Ashley Young, brilliant. Again, go back to the Iwobi cross. Ashley Young, a couple of step overs, gets himself half a yard, and that left-footed cross takes the keeper completely out of the game. He can't get there. It's always going to go to the far post. Everton haven't got anyone there. It comes out to Onana, and he hasn't got a picture. He doesn't know what he's going to do with that, and in the end he just heads it forward. Martinez comes and catches it.
Onana in possession again to Tarkowski, laid off there by just a guard again. Now with Michael Keane, well, that's drilled, and you have to have a magic first touch to bring that one down, Nathan Patterson, I'm afraid, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Good ball, just inches away from being brought under control in the penalty area. Might possibly have been offside, I think, if he had brought it under control, but Martinez takes the goal kick.
Let's see how much stoppage time we're going to have. So 9 minutes of stoppage time we're going to have.
We've had a couple of... we had the
9 minutes and it's
a long break for the Calvert-Lewin Martinez clash, didn't we? And then
we had the one with Calvert-Lewin that ended up going off. 2 goals.
So 9 minutes of stoppage time here at Villa Park. Everton trail 2-0. And Juma trying to get beyond the last defender here. The flag has stayed down on that far side. Goes across third as Pau to cover him. Still with Danjuma. Makes some space for himself. Now what can he do? Back as far as Patterson. Tries to play it in for Everton again. It's a good chance there for Danjuma, and Martinez makes a decent save at his near post, but that was good play by Danjuma, and then a good ball back to him as well.
Fabulous play. Everton's best moment, I think. Long ball forward to Danjuma. Initially I thought he could have let that run and it would have put him in on goal, but he's taken it with the outside of his right foot, which has taken him away from the goal. He's got good possession, he's made the right decision. There's no Everton shirts in support. He's waited, goes out to the box and a fabulous reverse ball into his path. Good keeping from Martinez. To score from there, you've got to go high into the roof of the net. Martinez spread himself at the near post corner.
Right hand side, fielded towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away there by Watkins. Patterson has it, loops the ball back in. It's a decent looking ball there for Tarkowski. Just flicks off his head there. Can Everton keep the ball in play? No, not quite. It's gone out for a goal kick. But Patterson looked up there. He did see where Tarkowski was, didn't he? But it was just a little bit too high for him in the end. And
yeah, I thought,
a lot of pressure.
I thought anywhere else on the pitch, and I think it was. I think Douglas Luiz got himself up against Tarkowski, and there's only ever going to be one winner there. I thought anywhere else on the pitch, Luiz might have conceded a foul there, but you don't get them in the penalty area away from home generally.
They're trying to build right from the back again, but Patterson heads the ball forward for Everton, touched on there by Danjuma. Now he's trying to get a ball through towards James Garner down the right hand side, and when Everton have got themselves to the edge of the penalty area, they're trying to play these balls and get the runners on the back of them. Hasn't quite worked out on that occasion, but they have possession again. So into stoppage time, and Everton having the best spell for quite some time in this half. Possession down the right hand side. They will come forward again. Patterson's got beyond the defender, back as his cross is pulled back, and well, for me it looked like it was just dropping for Iwobi, but in the end it drifted away from him.
It's gone. Iwobi's gone in a little bit too early. It's gone behind him. It's Decore. It's ahead of him. It's a decent ball across the face of the goal. Just the Everton player's not in the right place.
Got out for a throw on this near side in the end. And 3 minutes of stoppage time. 9, remember, we've got in this first half. Cash for the throw. Now with Luiz. Pau. That was a decent bit of pressure by Everton. Almost created a clear opportunity then, and a good save by Martinez.
They've finished the half really well. I mean, they're 2-0 down, I know, but they can go in at half time and Sean Dyche should at least say, look, we've come back well, we've created chances, we've had good positions. Certainly Danjuma had Everton's arguably their best chance of the game on the near post where Martinez has saved. But it's been a strange half. Everton were in it at 0-0, and then Villa bang bang couldn't score 4 or 5 goals.
Michael Keane's going to get a booking there for pulling down Watkins inside the centre circle. So Keane with a booking there.
So Villa have got 2 massive screens in the diagonally opposite corner end. We haven't seen anything. We didn't see anything up there about VAR, and I thought all clubs were supposed to let the clock run so that you knew. I don't think Villa have got Villa didn't get the memo. Obviously, the clock stopped at 45 minutes.
Yeah, so it was Trammy.
Is it?
So that Trammy yesterday, and there was 12 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game. It ended with 15 minutes, but it was shown on the clock.
Well, I was at Wrexham and they let the clock run.
Same again there.
Maybe the Premier League haven't adopted that, so maybe I'm wrong. There's every chance.
Pickford to get the ball forward early to Danjuma, good control by him, but in the end won back by Concert. Now with Kamara. Villa fans want him to drive forward, but he doesn't. And then Ian McGinn slows it down for a moment. Played the ball away on that far side through Pau to Luca Dean again, who's put in a couple of really good crosses from that left-hand touchline already. Remember, Everton have lost Dominic Calvert-Lewin after 36 minutes. Like a possible fractured cheekbone.
There's 9 minutes to added on, but still that psychological barrier, 45 minutes. Players sort of slow down a little bit, hasn't it? And both sets of players sort of waiting for half time.
Dean's crossing from the left hand side, and well, he was arriving late then, was Bailey, but too much on it and it beats him, and it's gone out for a throw on this near side. But so much space there for Luca Dean to get the cross in.
And it's another good cross, I've got to say. Pickford can't come through it. It was just a question of whether the Villa players have got their starting positions correct.
Out for an Everton throw. 5 or 10 yards from the Everton corner flag left hand side. For Onana, haven't seen too much of him in the first half. And then Garner's pass back. Just for a moment there he worried it was short of Pickford, but it wasn't. And again, strong challenge on that far side. Gets the ball away from Nathan Patterson, but Everton have the possession again.
Oops.
And Gallagher was almost falling over then, wasn't he, as he played it?
I thought he was going to give that ball away there. Initially he was going to let it run, and he must have had a shout to not to, and then he's just touched it back towards where it came from, and I thought Villa were going to pinch it.
Cash with the ball forward. It's over the head there of Diaby. His volley, but a tremendous save out of Pickford when he turns it onto his left hand post. Beaten twice Jordan Pickford in this first half. John McGinn getting on the end of the Bailey cross, and Pickford adjudged to have fouled Watkins after he'd pushed the ball over him. McGinn now played into us. Diaby just got stuck under his feet. That was almost...
Everton's lost the shape, completely lost the shape at the moment.
Bailey again, right edge of the penalty area. Cash trying to get beyond Ashley Young. Still with Matty Cash. Come back as far as Bailey again. Now there are Villa shirts inside the box. The curling cross comes in. It's just over the head of Ollie Watkins in the end and goes behind for the goal kick.
Everton were all over the place there when that ball came to McGinn. It just opened up in front of him, and it's another example of maybe Villa overplaying. McGinn at the heart of a lot of good things this afternoon, as you've already pointed out, but he's on the edge of the box. It's opened up for him, plenty of time to shoot. He's fired it across to Bailey, I think it was Bailey, and he just couldn't quite bring it under control. But if that pass had found his man, it would have been brilliant. But they passed up the chance to have a shot from 18 yards.
Possession, it's their own half though at the moment. We've still got a couple of minutes of stoppage time on my watch still to go at the end of this first half, with 9 added minutes, mainly for the injuries for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Ball back with Cons from the edge of his own penalty area. Danjuma's looked quite lively since he's come on, certainly. He's been in possession a couple of times, had that shot on target from the angle that Martinez made the save from, but Everton have got to have enough possession really to try and build through him and create opportunities. Trying a bit more from your central midfielders, Onana and Garner are not, Barry, or they're being bypassed a little bit?
Well, Everton haven't had. I'd be interested to see what the possession stats are actually. Everton have looked most dangerous. Two things. One, a reasonably long ball forward, or the other one is the switch of play from right to left, which has been effective. And they've had some play down the right hand side where we've got in behind. But there's not a great deal. If you look at John McGinn's contribution, whereby in and around the penalty area or just inside the Everton half, where he's on the half turn and he's taking the ball from defence into attack, there's not really anyone in blue that's done that.
Half-time whistle goes then, and Idrissa Gana Gueye was just booked just a moment before that half-time whistle as well. Everton, who they started the game with Villa on the attack, and they almost had an opportunity in the very first minute to Aston Villa, but haven't survived that, and then they just seemed to settle into the game. And certainly Iwobi was getting a lot of possession down the left-hand touchline without really creating opportunities. And then we had that opening goal. Really good play by Bailey down the right-hand side. Was on his left foot, then switched onto his right foot, was able to get the cross inside the 6-yard box, and John McGinn, despite the presence of a number of Everton defenders, got away from everybody and volleyed the ball cleverly into the back of the net to give them the lead. Then the second goal, the penalty, well, there'll be a bit of discussion about that, I'm sure. It was a cross in, a knock down. Watkins got to the ball before Jordan Pickford and looped it over him. The ball didn't cross the goal line, but referee Anthony Taylor and VAR thought that Pickford had made contact with Watkins. They gave a penalty, and although Pickford dived towards his left-hand side, Luiz was able to convert the penalty to make it 2-0. Pickford made a brilliant save from Diaby's volley to stop it being 3 when he turned it onto his post and the ball bounced away from danger. And as the half went on, Villa more and more in control. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, well, he's gone off what looked like a nasty cheek injury, perhaps a fractured cheek. There was certainly a huge swelling as he left the pitch, and we've got Arnaud Danjuma on in place of him. So not the half Everton would have wanted. At the start we thought Villa were passing it a bit too slow, but when they play it with pace, it has an edge to it, Barry.
Yeah, when you look back, I mean, at 0-0 for, I don't know, the first goal was about 18 minutes, the first 20 minutes. Everton were in the game, Villa were a threat. Bailey in particular in those early stages was dangerous. But I just felt Everton were in the game and they were getting balls to the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin was taking good positions. Villa, I don't know, despite the fact that they got thumped last weekend, there was a self-belief there that they looked calm, they looked composed, and as you say, when they went forward with intent, with pace, and they created, to my mind, 4, 5, 6 really good positions where they might have scored. So to win at 2-0 and have a couple of attempts on goal in the dying stages at half, Sean Dyche will feel that, you know, Everton maybe been let off lightly. How he's going to get back into the game, I don't know. The substitute Danjuma's come on and he's had a chance and he's made a chance, so that's promising. But Villa quietly controlled that first half of football.
And what about, I mean, you meant before the start, Barry, you were saying, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can score goals in the side, but well, we'll have to see whether that's a serious injury for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But we'll have more from Barry Horn in the second half. Thanks very much to Barry for his first half comments. Half-time, those goals, 2 of them for Aston Villa, means Everton have a long way to come back in this one. Half-time at Villa Park, Aston Villa 2, Everton 0.
Email radio.merseyside.sport@bbc.co.uk
or follow us at BBC Mersey Sport.
Hopefully better to come from Everton in the second half at Villa Park. Villa, a lot more conviction about their play, certainly for the most part of the 45. Danjuma with that good effort. Hopefully better to come, as I say, for the Blues. Back we go to Villa Park. Hopefully better to come from the Blues in the second half. Our commentary team, Everton legendary midfielder Barry Horn and BBC Radio Merseyside's Derek Jones.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Everton having to make that substitution. Remember, in the first half, Dominic Calvert-Lewin going off with a swelling on his cheek. And I know, Barry, you tried to make a little bit of a ferreting behind the scenes just to see if you could find any more about that.
I thought that we must have missed something because it looked as if he'd had it looked very fresh, the injury, and there was bleeding. The collision with Martinez was some time before that. But apparently that's where the injury was. That's where he got the injury, and he played on with it. And then obviously it must have been becoming increasingly painful. And there's also the chance, of course, as you said, of concussion. Everton on the attack.
Heading towards the dead ball lines, Danjuma trying to get the cross in, bounces off a defender, breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, and the shot goes wide in the end. But the referee has pointed to the goal kick. Well, if the ball went out before that, I'm not so sure, but Iwobi it was with the follow-up shot that went wide. But that was a good bright start by Everton. I'm sure Sean Dyche has been in their
cross ball
before the cross came in.
The ball was out just as the cross was coming, just out, which is hence the reaction from the Everton players when that shot went wide. It didn't matter, the whistle had already gone.
Some of the stats for the first half: 66% possession of Villa compared to Everton, 7 shots to Everton's 3, 4 shots on target for Villa, and just that one from the substitute Danjuma that was saved by Martinez.
Yeah, the possession stat is the one for me that stands out. It felt like at the end of the half, despite what was a fairly even first 15-20 minutes, I felt, when I look back at the end of that first half, I thought Aston Villa had an awful lot of the ball. and they controlled the pace of the game quite well. The goals make a difference, of course. You know, they get the first goal and you are then in control, and you've got the confidence to take your time building attacks, but they look well coached, and when they go forward they do so with intent, and the man on the ball now, McGinn, is looking a little bit heavier than the last time I saw him, I have to say, but nevertheless he's had a terrific half.
Everton have changed their shape a little bit. They made a half-time substitution. Idrissa Gana Gueye, the player who's gone off, he got booked just before the half-time whistle. Not too sure whether that's because of that or whether something else that Sean Dyche has seen. So we've got Lewis Dobbin on in place of him. It looks like Iwobi is now down the right-hand side a little bit more. Danjuma down the centre, and Dobbin looks as if he's sort of fitted into that sort of left side of the midfield role.
So Barry, I know Alex Iwobi can play down the left. I think he's more effective starting off on the right, and at times last season he was at his most effective when he was allowed to drift in and take up central positions. We did comment on Everton's central midfield with the peripheral, certainly in an attacking sense. In that first 45 they offered very little going forward, very little ammunition for the strikers. So a change of shape, more responsibility now on Onana and Garner from a sort of the number 4 position for Garner, really, and Dobbin very much occupying the left hand side of the attack, with Doucouré pushed on inside left support.
Do you have a feeling for what Onana's best position is, Barry, in that midfield? You know, is he better further forward? Is he better just sitting?
I've got to be perfectly honest with you. I know I'm led to believe there's a lot of interest from big clubs. Everton's a big club, from clubs with more money than Everton. I think I'd be tempted to cash in, because I'm not quite sure if he's a tackler or a passer or a goal scorer or a creator. We saw that header when it came out to the edge of the box in the first half. A good player does something with that. He's got a picture. He knows if that ball comes to him, however it comes to him, he's ready. He knows what he's going to do with it. To me, he didn't have a clue. Now, Iwobi's gone down now, and he's come off.
Possibly hamstring, we're thinking.
Yeah, it's he's not holding. He's certainly struggling. Possible hamstring injury, which is more bad news for Evertonians, for Sean Dyche. He's a forlorn figure. He's on his way in. No question about him trying to carry on. He's pulled something.
Yeah, he's making his way down to the dressing room.
Looks really forlorn as he's makes his way in. If he's pulled a hamstring, that's anything from 3 and 6 weeks.
Neil Maupay will be joining the action very, very shortly. But it's Villa looking for a third now with McGinn edge of the penalty area. Play to his right hand side, picked up now by Diaby. Back to the edge of the box again. Now the shot will come and takes a deflection off the head there of Tarkowski and goes behind for a corner for Villa.
You know what? Sometimes things do. You just do feel like things are just not going your way. So you get your centre forward back, you lose him. You make a reshuffle at half time and think, right, okay, this is the way I think we can do something here today. This is the way we can get back in the game, and you lose one of your key players to replace by somebody who's struggling to find form.
Yeah, failed to find the net in 28 games, Neil Maupay. Everton need some goals here this afternoon, no doubt about that. Back with McGinn again. Also always seems to be available for a pass as well, this time wide to Luca Dean. That's a decent ball in, but hit away well by Tarkowski on the edge of his 6-yard box and away for a throw on his near side. Throws taken quickly. Keane gets a foot in and it's going to break there for the opportunity, and it's drilled in by Leon Bailey. Well, it was a throw from his near side. Everton were asleep really, and Keane was at full stretch trying to clear the ball away, but it broke as far as Leon Bailey, and no problem for him as he hit it into the ground past Pickford early in the second half. 51 minutes gone. It's Villa 3, Everton 0.
The key to it, you'd hit the nail on the head. Everton switched off. It wasn't even a quick throw in. 2 Aston Villa players have made runs in between Tarkowski and Keane. Keane spotted the danger, but a little bit too late. He's stretching, and all he does is deflects it into the path of Leon Bailey, who, not the cleanest strike he'll ever make, but Onana's in the wrong position, not picking up. Tarkowski's followed his man, and as I say, it's not the cleanest strike with his right foot, but it's firm enough to Pickford, through Pickford's legs. Actually, he's hit it straight at Pickford. He can't react quickly enough to keep it out. A shocking start for Everton. A shocking start. Lose Iwobi, switch off completely from that throw-in. Edge of the 18-yard box to throw-in is. And Villa have got two players free in between Tarkowski, Onana and Keane. Keane can't get there. They're all over the place. Absolute shambles.
Danjuma down the left-hand side, trying to cause a few problems for Villa. Just running possession there and gets the ball back as far as Ashley Young. Danjuma again tries to drill the ball in, but good block by Villa. Now with Onana. Slips as he tries to turn, but breaks forward as far as Doucouré. And Danjuma will get the shot away. Takes a deflection, does he? Yeah, that's going to be a corner kick on that far side. I know on that far, towards the end of the first half, you were talking about Everton losing their shape as well, and that's about concentration and just making sure that
it was that 45 minute comes up. There's 9 minutes left of the game. That's a fifth of the game, and they were playing like there was a minute of injury time to play.
Well, they've got a corner now, left-hand side, Holt end, and towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Blue Head's trying to get on the end of it and eventually just loops off that of Tarkowski, I think it was, beyond the far post and goes behind for a goal kick. But it's really living off scraps, isn't it?
Well, anything Everton get now is a consolation. If they end up 3-1, they've been let off the hook, to be honest with you. I can't see. I might be wrong, but I can't see a way back into the game for them unless they get a stroke of luck, which shows the type. But Villa look well coached. They look balanced. They've got a little bit of pace in the team. They've got, I'm going to say it again, but they've got a lad in central midfield who, each time he gets the ball, he seems to make something happen. McGinn, the captain, he's enjoying his afternoon.
Is it about the players that you have at your disposal rather than the coach or the manager?
Steven Gerrard had most of these at his disposal for 18 months or 15 months, however long he was here. Not only could he not get a tune out of them, they were quite the opposite. They seemed like one or two of them were down tools. There was people falling out with each other, and then all of a sudden Tyrone Mings is back on form, John McGinn's back on form, and they finished the season. Effectively, if the season was December to May, they would have been runners up.
Feel a little bit of pressure down this near side as Dobbin there goes in with a strong challenge. He's asking a lot of younger players certainly to come in and to make an impact and to do something, isn't it?
Or you could look at it the other way, and if Everton weren't struggling, he wouldn't be on the pitch. It's an opportunity. Go on, there you go. Even if we lose, show us what you've got. Show us some aggression, show us some passion. What have you got?
Everton fans will point all the time to a goal scorer, won't they, Barry? And everything's on the shoulders of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Not a muscle injury today, but he's found,
and that is
unfortunately something else there that's affected him.
That is just Sean Dyche must have ran over a number of black cats on his way to Everton. On the Calvert-Lewin thing,
just for a minute, Villa as they get a chance into the penalty area. Ball breaks as far as Watkins just couldn't quite get it under his feet, and Everton have snuffed that danger out.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not sure what he was doing going for that ball in the way that he did. I did say at the time that
Dobbin's done well now edge of the penalty area, plays the ball in, but Pace first touches and good, and the ball's away from him. But that was a bit of Lewis Dobbin perhaps trying to take the opportunity that Barry was talking about.
Well, he's done well. He's carried the ball forward.
Come back to DCL in a minute, because now it's Villa at the other end coming forward. Now played in towards the chance there for Bailey, and it's in the end it's Watkins who gets his foot to the ball ahead of Pickford, who's now gone in down injured as well. And the ball has just gone wide of the far post, but it was too easy then to just cut through the centre of the Everton defence.
Another lightning counter-attack. We've gone from one end, you're talking about Dobbin not being able to find Neil Moper on the edge of the box. not sure Mopé's run did Dobbin any favours, to be honest with you. But within seconds, a couple of passes, and Diaby is releasing Leon Bailey in the penalty area, and if truth be known, he probably should have scored. Plenty of time to lift that over Pickford, who is now up and stretching and seems okay. But that's another let off and another example of the counter-attacking speed of this Villa team.
Yeah, people just on his back a little bit, but it's just a back spasm. Sometimes you just don't go in the right direction or whatever, and you just feel something, but he seems to be okay. Plays the goal kick out to Patterson on this near side. And with Michael Keane, Onana turns and then drills a decent ball away on that far side. Is it? No, it's over there of Danjuma.
That's not a difficult ball. Villa are almost, they have from the start, and obviously Sean Dyche spotted that. Villa are almost saying to Everton, yeah, go on, give him the ball if you like, because Martin Cash and Bailey is so narrow. That is not a difficult ball. Onana's just completely overhit. It's not a difficult ball at all.
They'll have the ball back on halfway with Cash. Going across their back foot, and with Power again, and look at Dean again will maraud down this left-hand side. The crosses from Luca Dean, I think we probably went Dominic Calvert-Lewin had his best spell in the Everton shirt actually. A number of times he got on the end of a cross from Luca Dean, but Dean now of course at Villa.
Well, when you consider that, it's no good dwelling on what's gone in the past, but Luca Dean has put in, I don't know, 10, 12 really, really good crosses today, and we've got a 38-year-old right-footed winger playing at left back for us.
Onana,
who's doing well, who's done well this afternoon, by the way.
He's in possession now in the sunshine for a moment. Plays it wide to that far side. Danjuma now with a chance to run at Matty Cash, checking one way then the other. Heads the penalty area, goes towards the dead ball line. That's a decent looking cross in. It just bounces away. They might break as far as Patterson, who tries to drill it back in, bounces off a Villa defender and behind for a corner. But that was another good run by Danjuma down the left hand side.
He's shown up. He's done 3 or 4 things like that. Where he's been positive. He knows what he wants to do. He's got to the byline. He's put the ball into a very, very dangerous area. Unfortunately, nobody there to tap it home.
Corner right hand side. Ashley Young has come across to take it. And Everton just get a little bit of daylight in this game with a goal. It's curled in towards the edge of the 6-yard box and drilled in the end of the back post there. Neil Maupay it was, I think, who struck it really well, didn't he? And somehow Martinez kept it out.
Deep corner. So Martinez obviously starts middle of the goal, facing Ashley Young. Ball comes across, it goes beyond the goal. And it's a great contact from Maupay. It's goal bound. He's not controlled it to the extent where he's put it in the corner, but it's a fantastic contact. He's inside the 6-yard box, and Martinez has reacted really, really well. He's come across, he's concentrating on the ball, and he's made a really, really good save at the near post to deny Maupay. And you know, when things aren't going your way, you know, we saw last week where you could say Maupay missed chances, or you could say that the keeper made 2 or 3 really, really good saves. That's definitely a save. That's definitely a very good save.
Again there, the long legs of Onana this time take the ball out of play on this near side. It's pretty a Villa throw. This is where they created their 3rd goal from, just the start of this second half, but this time's a short throw. Dean gets it back, then the little 1-2 with McGinn. Just waits for the defender to get a little bit closer to him there. I think he was just playing for the corner there, was Luca Dean playing the percentages. And they'll have a corner left-hand side.
They look very, very comfortable. They look very confident. Just, you know, we've got a great spot here, front row of in the main stand. We're 15-20 yards from the touchline. Just a look on the players' faces. They're calm. They want the ball. They all want the ball. They all want to get involved.
And they want to get on the end of this corner as well, left-hand side. Everton defending. It's played short again, which they do so often. Now with Dean, back as far as Louise again. Played towards the edge of the penalty. McGinn just sets himself, plays it in towards Bailey on the angle. Karkowski with a challenge, which is a good one. And then he plays a clever ball away towards Dobbin, but his first touch gives the ball away to McGinn again. You don't want to do that. Gets it back from Dean. Play it down inside the box. McGinn goes on. Sliding challenge comes in by Dobbin, who retrieves his error. But it's still going to be a corner. And still the Villa player down in the box.
McGinn driving his team forward. And again, I did touch on this early on. Everton are allowing Aston Villa to do whatever they want from corners. They've got every time to short corner. They've got a number of routines. But Everton are just saying, yeah, go on then. We've made a decision. We're not going to try and stop you doing this, but at some point you're going to put the ball in the box and we're going to try and defend it. But what they're doing actually is they're finding McGinn in that inside left position edge of the box, and he's trying to play people in. They're not putting the ball into the penalty area so much as a cross. That one there, the pass to Leon Bailey, could have ended up with a goal. It was, in the end, it was a heavy touch from Bailey and a tackle from Tarkowski. But Everton might, I wouldn't be surprised if Villa work one of these short corners and ends up in the back of the net.
Bailey is still down, so you're missing none of the action here, certainly. But we've got phone in coming at the end of this one. 0800 731 9333. Barry will be sticking around here at Villa Park to take your calls. What do you think about Everton's start of the season? Well, they lost both the opening league games last season, didn't they? And lost 2-1 here at Villa Park in Villa's first home league game as well. Well, it's worse than that, I'm afraid, this afternoon, because they're leading by 3-0 against the Blues at the moment. What about the injury crisis? Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured again, a nasty facial injury. We'll wait and see how long that keeps him out for. Iwobi's gone off with a hamstring injury. Danjuma working his way to fitness. He's been bright enough since he's come on, but where's the attacking threat going to come from? Bailey, I think, is making his way round towards the near touchline, so no chances being taken with him. And we're going to make a substitution. It's going to be Philippe Coutinho who's going to join the action as Bailey goes off. So Coutinho for Bailey. So that's going to just change the dynamics a little bit. Bailey, who certainly opened up the Everton defence really in that first half, didn't he, with his runs down the right-hand touchline.
Yeah,
so
Bailey, more pace and more direct than Coutinho, but in this team, and the way they're playing, it's double substitution. He's going off as well.
Please welcome 3 Diego Carlos, 8 Tory Tielemans, and 23 Philippe Coutinho.
So Carlos, Tielemans and Coutinho come on.
I mean, Coutinho hasn't recaptured the form that he was when he was at his best at Liverpool, but nevertheless, you know, to bring on Tielemans and Coutinho at this stage of the game 3-0 up, that's quality, that.
Dean's corner, headed away well by Michael Keane. Turn back in on this near side, but that's going to drift out of play, so a little bit of a respite as far as Everton are concerned. So taking no chances. Got a long injury list anyway at the moment. You've got Traore and Duran coming back from injuries there on the bench for Aston Villa this afternoon as well. So they've had their own injury problems, and Rings, of course, that serious injury he picked up at Newcastle last week. But it's about having to define style of play, I suppose. That's the starting point, Barry, isn't it? You know, when you do have those injuries, you still know how you're going to play the game. They're all coached that way.
There's the fact that, you know, this is how we play, and whoever plays is going to play in this position, and you're going to do this job. It's also, the points I was saying, it's also about having a little bit of strength in depth, you know, to be able to bring on Youri Tielemans. As I say, Philippe Coutinho has been a little bit hit and miss here, hasn't he? But a 3-0 up, for goodness sake. If he isn't itching to get on the pitch today and get his name, get an assist to his name today.
Tielemans isn't a bad free transfer, is he? Certainly from Leicester. No, that's decent business. And obviously fits into the style of play that Emery is trying to build here at Villa Park. They lead 3-0. What can Everton do about it? Battling down this near side. Good challenge coming in there on the near touchline. It's going to be a throw which Luca Dean will take. James Garner had his own injury problems last season, of course, did really well at Nottingham Forest, and then Everton picked him up, and again, perhaps just not quite settled into his Everton career just yet, and again, which is his best position. I think he's got talent, certainly.
I definitely, when he first came back to Everton, he came on the sub a couple of occasions. I was impressed with him. Thought he played well at home last weekend against Fulham.
Dean down the left-hand touchline again. This time comes in towards Coutinho. Played all the way back to Diego Carlos, who's now at the heart of the defence after Conser being one of the players substituted as well.
Undoubtedly lost a bit of width, Villa, with Leon Bailey going off, Coutinho, Tielemans, both going on in central midfield really with McGinn.
Dean, that's a clever ball in field, that's a neat layoff. Now Coutinho into the penalty area, drills it low but straight at Pickford, didn't quite catch it there, but it was a good layoff to him certainly. And again, that was bright play by Villa this time, an easy save for Jordan Pickford.
So they've got Watkin up front. The width is coming in exclusively at the moment from the two full-backs who are now operating as wing-backs.
Yeah, the space wasn't there necessarily all the time for Cash to get forward first half. That was with Bailey hugging the right touchline, but now without him there, of course, he can push forward a lot more. And of course, we've seen Luca Dean through it throughout the game. Now with Doucouré, a bit deeper for him inside the centre circle. And Nanas to his right-hand side. That's where the ball goes now. Try to play it through the centre now. Mopé trying to get behind the defender, but just too strong there was Diego Carlos, who's just come on and just brushed him away and was able to tidy up the danger. And it just looked for a moment as if Neil Mopé might be on goal.
He did. For a split second he was goal side, and then the centre back just one step and he was back to right side again and just took the ball. Didn't tackle him. He literally just took the ball off Neil Mopé. So Unai Emery's gone to a 3 at the back with the two original centre backs, Pau and Conser, joined by Carlos. That has then released Dean and Cash to play further up the pitch. They've got midfield well populated with a mixture of a little bit of defensive and a lot of attacking ability in there.
Long ball forward on that far side, and Danjuma chases it but can't get on the end of it. Yeah, Coutinho, Tielemans and Diego Carlos on. Luis Bailey and Diaby, the players that went off for Villa. We've had 68 minutes here. Aston Villa 3, Everton 0. That goal early in the second half really making it very, very difficult for Everton to come back into this one at all. And begin on 18. Luis penalty on 24 and Bailey on 51. They're the goal scorers for Unai Emery's side. And Everton with more injury problems, with Alex Iwobi having gone off injured as well. It looked like a hamstring injury. Dominic Calvert-Lewin off in the first half with didn't look good, his cheek certainly. It was very swollen, blood around as well. So that will take an x-ray, I'm sure, and find out what the damage is. Could be a fracture. We'll wait and see a little bit later, but not a good second weekend of the Premier League season as far as the Blues are concerned. 0800 731 9333. Want to give us a call at the end of this one, your thoughts about the performance today, also the injuries that are affecting the squad at the moment certainly, and ins and outs perhaps before the transfer window might end. We've taken Jack Harrison on loan from Leeds at the moment, but he's got a hip problem, so he's out for a little while, isn't he? But he's a decent player, Jack Harrison.
Yes, but not for 4 or 5 weeks.
No, so it's not going to be an immediate solution. Does that tell you something about the market that Everton are trawling in the loan, Barry? I think it probably does, doesn't it?
Yep.
All the way on that far side. Neil Mopé just inside the Villa half, drills the ball away on this near side, but Patterson's had to come back to retrieve it. And Villa will just get back into their shape again. Ball played forward there by Garner. Dobbin tight to the near touch line. Quick feet by him, keeps control of the ball, but he's forced to come backward, but he did keep possession. And then with Keane to Tarkowski. Ashley Young, he had a worry over an injury early on in the game, but he seems to have recovered from that. The older you get, the more resilient you are perhaps. Ball away on this near side, picked up by Patterson. Now with Dobbin, drills this ball in but doesn't get past the near post, and it's cleared away by Pau, and now picked up by Watkins, who decides to have a run at the Everton defence. Keane backpedaling, he's carried it a long way as Ollie Watkins, and then goes down on the edge of the penalty area, but the referee says no, you went down too easily, and that's easy for Pickford to pick up.
Yeah, strange one how and why Ollie Watkins went down. They're running flat out, of course. He's got Michael Keane backpedaling, he's got him turning inside on his weaker side, and then he just seemed to fall over his own feet.
Ball away on this near side to Patterson. Wide to this near side now with Dobbin, he's able to turn. Dean just Laying off in the moment now with Onana into the feet of Maupay. Into the penalty area, places his left hand side to Doucouré. Back to Garner. Tried to dob in again. And Dean gets a foot in. And Villa have the possession back again, deep inside their own half with Luca Dean. And towards Coutinho. We thought there was a player ahead of him, but there wasn't. And then a challenge off the ball by Luca Dean there leaves an Everton player on the deck.
If I was Ollie Watkins, I would not be impressed with Coutinho there, because Coutinho, he should have known that Ollie Watkins wasn't in that space. That when he's flipped over his own head, essentially, I don't know what to do here. He's turned around and made out Ollie Watkins.
It was Watkins' fault.
You should have been there. And if I was Ollie Watkins, I wouldn't be having that.
Yeah, we wouldn't argue with you, Barry, if you're on the pitch. There's no doubt about that. Garner will take the free kick then for Everton. 10 yards inside that Aston Villa half. Nobody lined up towards the edge of the penalty area. It's floated in now, looking for the heads. It's headed away, and then Watkins with a neat little layoff there, and a chance now for Villa to break forward. Did well there, did Garner, just to get his body in the way, but he hasn't stopped the attack, and now the ball forward to the edge of the penalty. Good chasing back there by Danjuma there. It was Consra, the wing back now, who'd made the run forward, hadn't he? But good chasing back there by Danjuma.
He's centre back. What was McGinn picking up the bits? Great vision. He knows where the space is. He knows where the Villa players are. Touch to win the ball, and then his next touch puts Konza in, but he's touch of a centre half in the opposition 18-yard box let him down.
Well, credit Danjuma though for racing back and making sure that he provided the cover in the end. So it's okay, I think, as Arnaud Danjuma, since he's been on the pitch, to be honest. Not too many bright sparks for Everton. That might be something for the future if he gets match fit. Emery just saying to his side, let's keep the pressure up, let's keep playing at that pace. Doesn't want them to drop at all. He's going to make another substitution.
Yeah.
Jean Duran, who's coming back from injury as well. And he's going to...
Well, he's able to give these players...
Ollie Watkins is the player who will come off.
He's able to give players game time, players coming back from injury, players who might not, haven't featured yet. Coutinho, for example, comfortable. They're 3-0 up. There's absolutely, at the moment, there's no threat of Everton getting back in the game. He can more or less do what he wants. He's even changed formation for no reason, just because he can, and because he wants to have a look at it, and something that they might use in a game further down the line when things are a bit tighter. It's like a training game for them now.
Power away on that far side. The ball over Cash's head and bounces out of play on that far side. Yeah, that really good save by Martinez from Neil Maupay when he'd come on. I suppose that's the closest Everton have come to just getting something in the game, isn't it? Oh. And now they've given the ball away, now real opportunity. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, who turns the ball in very, very easily. And that's a goal for John Duran. Well, he's only been on the pitch for about 30 seconds. And Everton's so sloppy at the back. And John Duran just joined the action. Says thank you very much. Slots it past Pickford. And it's 4-0.
He's milking the celebration. He's got a variety of his own celebrations. He's gone through a full repertoire down there. But ultimately he's walked on the pitch. He's jogged over to the centre forward position. And Everton have thrown the ball to him. The throw in, I'm not sure who the throw in was intended for. I think it was Michael Keane that came across, and was it Tarkovsky that nearly challenged him, but ultimately Everton have thrown him the ball, and he's in one-on-one to score his first goal for Villa. And fair play to him. He's just come on the pitch, stuck it away very, very confidently, but an absolute shocker. Everton have thrown the ball from 10 yards inside their own half, thrown it back to a centre half who isn't there, to the centre forward who's just wandered on the pitch, and he's just one touch and he's beyond the last man, and he's just rolled it underneath Jordan Pickford. A shocker. Well,
the 2 goals second half, we had a Villa throw where Everton switched off and didn't defend a Villa throw, and now from their own throw, they managed to create an opportunity for Villa, which, as you say, Duran's accepted. Then Danjuma still trying to throw down that left-hand touchline, but this time Carlos is in the way to clear the ball away from danger. So they're piling on their own mistakes, Everton, on top of the injury problems they've had this afternoon. Not making it easy for themselves.
No, they're not. You know, Sean Dyche can point to bad luck. He can point to good save at 2-0. Was it 2-0 when? No, was it 2-0 when Martins made the save from Mope?
Yeah.
2-0 becomes too long, and you might think that you get a chance of getting back into the game. But ultimately, Villa look. I hate to say it, but they put above Everton this afternoon and everything they've done. No free kick, thank you referee.
Coutinho went to ground there, much too easily. Nothing wrong with him. I've just looking at the Everton fans across from us here, Barry, as well. You know, and there's a lot of empty spaces now. They're drifting away.
I've been to away games in the last couple of years where not a single Everton fan has left the game. I was thinking Leicester, you know, especially, and well, it's 4-0. Let's go home.
Just 2 wins out of 19 away from home last season. I mean, obviously that was a stat that Everton want to improve this time round, but not with a performance like this has ended up this afternoon, I'm afraid. Dean's got space on the left-hand side again, curls it towards the far post. Duran gets his head to it and knocks the ball down. I hope he doesn't score again, because then we'll have the chance to say the phrase Duran. I'm trying to avoid that hopefully this afternoon. Wry smile on Barry's face. Knows his music. Ball back with Coutinho. Played back towards the halfway line. But I'll say that first goal went in a long time ago. Scored by John McGinn. It really was out of character of the game we'd seen so far, but as far as Villa are concerned, they've grown into this one. They've been bossing the game, certainly, and Everton, disrupted by injuries though they may have been, they've lost their shape on occasions. They've lost their concentration.
And
that hasn't helped.
Never mind about your shape. The killer goal really was the third. Well,
the throw in.
The killer was the third one here, right in front of us. Throw in. Onana, Tarkowski, and Keane all went to sleep.
Danjuma, face by Carlos again, turns in field, then gets his pocket picked, and he's being fouled there, the Villa player, but referee Anthony Taylor says play on. And back by Everton, and then lost again, is it? No, doesn't still have it. Picked up by Doucouré, and towards Mope, back to Doucouré again. And again he leaves the ball, and the Villa player just picks the pocket, and they bring the ball away from danger again. Coutinho, wide to this near side. Duran off the bench and scored already. Now with Philip Coutinho off the bench as well. Gets away from Dobbin, then decides to try the spectacular shot from a good 25 yards, but almost rising over the top of Pickford's crossbar. It's almost like exhibition stuff now from Villa. They're trying everything.
It is, but if I'm Unai Emery, I'm
not like that.
I'm going to be looking at you and saying, no, that's not what we do. No, and if Coutinho wants to get in this Villa team, he's going to have to learn to do the right thing more often. It's not about him.
Yeah, scoring a world he's not going to do for him. It's the rest of his game he's got to show as well.
Not when it's the fifth in a 5-0 win. No, what he wants, Unai Emery, is for Philip Coutinho to be able to do what John McGinn did at 0-0 and not 1-0.
They're a Villa player down into the moment. So if you're Sean Dyche at the moment and you're watching this, I mean, what are your thoughts going to be, Barry? I mean, what needs to improve? What can he do, looking at what he's got available at the moment?
The first thought is any way you can speed the clock up and get to 90 minutes cricket. But I'm thinking that my players have had some bad luck today.
Juma's done really well now to get inside the penalty. The shot took a deflection and goes inches wide in the end.
Thought that had looped over Martinez into the net. I think Martinez knew it was going wide, but
That's the one bright spark, I suppose, getting to Danjuma a little bit more, because he's done well, hasn't he?
Danjuma's come on, and Martinez knows that ball is going 2 or 3 foot wide, but he's offered something. Danjuma, he's been positive. He's got to the byline. He's got shots. He's got crosses in. Could have scored. Had that good chance.
Ashley Young's corner, looking for Michael Keane beyond the far post. He's headed away. Back with Barry in a moment. Now Dobbin has it. Is drilled across in. That's going to go safely through towards Martinez.
So Sean Dyche thinking, yeah, I've had bad luck. I've got my centre forward back on the pitch and he's got injured. I've made a change in formation and Iwobi's come off injured, so I've had to change that. But ultimately, we've not taken chances. We've not defended well enough, and that's the key. Concentration has been, as the third and fourth goals, shocking, absolutely shocking. What goes on now is irrelevant. First one goes in, okay, you're still in the game. The second one, you've still got a chance. What happens now is completely irrelevant. The game's done. The game is lost in those moments. And, you know, Sean Dyche, I know as a manager, he will say, well, we could have been back in it with Danjuma, the save late in the first half, Mope early in the second half, Martinez, great save. But I would say, well, okay, if I was being devil's advocate, I'd say that's fair enough, but Jordan Pickford's made a worldie, and Villa at times have been trying to walk the ball into the net when they should be shooting. In fact, Pickford's made 2 or 3 saves. One of them in particular was outstanding. Somebody else is down now.
Yeah, maybe Coutinho went down on the far side. So we're going to have a lot of stoppage time as well. We've got a phone in after this, 0800 731 9333. Hearing some of Barry's comments in commentary here. What are your thoughts as well? Come on and let Barry know about today's performance, but perhaps more generally about the squad, about what Everton can do, what they need to do in the window before it ends.
It is Coutinho that's down.
Yeah, I don't know whether he just caught his heel as well as he was going across somebody, but never quite so sure. He threw himself to the floor a few moments ago, but just caught his heel there, so really hoping that isn't too serious. Young players on the fringes, of course, aren't there, as well. Thomas Cannon's on the bench today, coming back from injury as well. Perhaps a striking option in the future. Lewis Dobbin we've seen, who's worked hard down this right-hand side, certainly, in the change. Got Vitaly Mikalenko to come back, I suppose.
Well, no.
I suppose Ashley Young could play a bit further forward, could he, or not?
Well, I think Sean Dyche decided that
Young's the better bet.
That Ashley Young starts ahead of Mikalenko. I think he's made that quite clear. Is it worth moving Ashley Young over to the right side? Trying that. Maybe take Patterson out, or play Young in front of Patterson, bring Garner into central midfield. There's options, but with each of them, you get the sense that it's out of the sense of desperation. That's a strong word. It's probably too strong, but it's out of the sense of right.
Two games into the season, but he's making choices he doesn't want to have to make.
I've got to do something. What can we do? You know, what changes can I make that might work, might not work?
Yeah. Making another substitution, Villa, and Cameron Archer is going to join the action as well, as Coutinho was hobbled off on that far side, so it didn't last too long for Philippe Coutinho.
Substitution for Mr. Phil Wisdom, 23, Philippe Coutinho. Please welcome number 35, Cameron Archer.
Good shape. I don't know if he's a local. I'm not sure if he's a local, but I've got to be honest. But I know he's an academy player, a Villa academy player. So a little cheer for him.
Always like one of their own, don't they? Every club. Now with Powers, had not a lot to do. There's a foul on this near side. As that frustration from Nathan Patterson, perhaps he just dived in there on Luca Dean. 0800 731 9333. Want to give us a call? And 41,694 the attendance here, and there were a lot more Everton fans in that total as there is now, because a large majority of them, I would say, Barry, have now actually left the premises.
Yeah, most of them have gone. Don't blame them, to be honest.
All the way on this near side with Luca Dean again. McGinn.
So there's just been a slight rearrangement of the midfield, but there's not been a change of shape. They've not had to change the shape. The players who've come on, like, right, well, McGinn, you come to the left now. Cameron Archer, you go to the right where McGinn was. McGinn obviously playing left or right, doesn't matter. So he made that change of shape, 3 at the back, 4 in the box in midfield, if you like. And even though he's made 3 of the changes, it's like, yeah, well, you go and play there, you go and play there. There's been no drama really for him. And as I say, they're so comfortable. He's now able to look at players, he's able to give players game time, he's able to look at a completely different formation.
Yeah, it could be a game where it's 0-0, you want to change and try and do something about it, and he's had that opportunity to do that, hasn't he?
It might be a game where it's 1-0.
Yeah.
And he's saying, right, I'm going to pack the midfield, I'm going to go 3 at the back, we're going to see it out.
Everton, who have possession, but it's deep inside their own half. Keane. About 87 minutes here. Interesting to see how many.
So Newcastle, Villa have done to us what Newcastle did to them last week, really. Similar. Ruthless.
Well, they've not been knocked off course, have they, by that performance, certainly in the defeat. I suppose they would say perhaps they were affected a bit last week by Mings getting that serious injury. I suppose that might be something they'd talk about, but as I say, on their day, Newcastle can fire past anybody. I know they lost to Man City, but Villa have bounced back in the way that they would have wanted to.
First home game of the season.
Please your fans.
Performance, lots of chances. Blank against Column. Keeper's made a couple of decent saves, to be fair to him. He's looked very confident, Martinez, I've got to say, for somebody who was beaten 5 times last week.
Yeah, he doesn't strike the sort of player that's too bothered about that, do you?
It'd take a lot for him to lose confidence, I think.
Yeah, some aren't. Look at Dean, enjoying his afternoon against his
Dean's looked better
former club
this afternoon than I ever saw him play for Everton, I've got to say. I knew he was a decent player, but he's playing in a system here that he's not had to really do that much defending. He's basically been there to provide crosses, and he's done that well.
Danjuma wins possession on that far side and wins himself a free kick as well, and it's a yellow card on that far side as well for Cameron Archer, I think, who's just come on. So Duran came on and scored the 4th goal about his first touch. Well, Archer's come on and fouled Danjuma just about his first touch, and he's got a yellow card for it. Into the 89th minute here. 0800 731 93333. Want to give us a call. Mike Hughes is in the studio. Barry Horn's here at Villa Park. Just to chew over, I think, if you're an Everton fan. Not just about this afternoon, about the injuries and about the squad and what are your thoughts of the season. And on and a distance out, he thought about the shot and then changed his mind, and the ball's pinched away from him. Now McGinn. The ball's played away on this near side to Luca Dean. Into the feet of Duran, one of the substitutes. Will look comfortable on the ball. Now Tielemans just keeps the ball moving. Kamara comes forward, and this patch is cut out by Dobbin, who's done well. Gets it forward towards Garner. Curry's there with him. Still with James Garner. Then just getting players behind the ball. And then strong challenge on this near side, and the ball goes out for a throw. See what added minutes we get at the end of this second half, and as Barry says, it won't be on the clock on the screens inside the ground, so I'll have to start counting, Barry.
9 again.
It's 9 minutes again, so it'll be 18 minutes in total of stoppage time we will have had here in the end. So I'll just make a little note on my pad here. It's going to be 4 minutes past 4 when it ends, so 9 minutes of stoppage time. In towards Doucouré, and then just did enough there. Powder's got his body alongside big Doucouré to make sure he couldn't get the end of it.
Even I've switched off now, I've got to be honest.
Produced one really good cross, and unfortunately that was where Calvert-Lewin got injured in the first half, didn't he, Abdullah Doucouré?
Yes, yeah.
In the end.
I have to say he injured himself, Calvert-Lewin. Keeper claimed it, it's his ball. Calvert-Lewin just a little bit late.
Probably the shoulder of the goalkeeper in the end was connected with him.
I don't think it was a head to head. I think it was his shoulder. He's a big unit though, Martinez.
Certainly is. Tarkovsky was having trouble there for a minute, but he recovered himself. Now with Keane into Maupay. And the referee gets in the way, so Everton will get the ball back. And then Maupay can play the pass wide to that far side to Ashley Young. What a happy return to Villa Park for him, of course, this afternoon. The two left backs have swapped clubs effectively, even though they arrived at different times. Onana to Michael Keane. Now Everton playing the slow game, and then Keane just loops the ball forward looking for Danjuma, but Diego Carlos gets and Enzri Konsa gets that wrong and heads it behind for a corner. So Everton with a corner late on in this one. Into the stoppage time now. 2 minutes have gone already. The corner to Everton left hand side, so for the Everton fans who have stayed behind, there's a goal for them to cheer right at the end of this one. Corner drilled in towards the 6-yard box and flicks off a head away on this near side, and clumsy push in the back there by
Everton ball.
Diego Carlos, but it's an Everton throw in the end. You needed to do that, Diego Carlos, in all honesty, but anyway, Everton have the throw taken quickly now with Patterson. Right edge of the penalty area. Patterson just rolls it in towards Onana. Ball is played forward and wants it back. Gets it again. It's wide to Garner. He goes to ground with a challenge after the ball had gone. And a bit too eager there was Boubacar Kamara. It's going to be a free kick Everton's way. Because they've never really had time to settle and get into a pattern of play since conceding that first goal. And without a focal point, Danjuma looks a little bit better, of course. He started playing centrally when he came on, but he moved wide. And had the shot on target in the first half that might just have brought Everton back into it, you never know. That was a long time ago. Now Garner takes the free kick deep towards the far post. Martinez eyes on the ball all the way and collects it very, very cleanly.
Too much air underneath that, too high. Looping cross to the far post. Martinez got all the time in the world. Quick feet, couple of steps, and he's underneath it. Clean catch.
Telling his players just to make their way forward. Good afternoon for Emery, no doubt about that at all. Now the clock is working for you, but they must have heard you, Barry. They've actually put it up on the screen.
Yeah,
now
they
in the
have.
far corner.
Yeah.
So that you've got your wish. 4 minutes of stoppage time gone. Ball played over on the far side, and back to Martinez again. As they can try and play out from the back here, Villa. Dean under pressure from Patterson. This is what Everton tried to do for a little spell in the first half before that first goal came in, where they're actually getting the faces of Villa. But I mean, the game's lost now, but that was what they were trying to do at the start, and it just hasn't worked.
No, because Villa were
good enough to play through.
Patient. If the pass wasn't on to go through or forwards, they would wait. They would wait and wait and wait, and then when it was on, they spotted the opportunity and did it quickly with purpose.
Referee in the way again.
Referee's getting tired now as well.
Yeah, his two first touches haven't been great because they bounced away from him, Barry. So anyway, Villa will get the ball back. It's easily remedied. Yeah, you need confidence to do that, don't you? You've got to be really.
Well, you need a belief in your pattern of play.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do in this situation. No, because if 0-0, if Matty Cash is on the ball and he tries to thread a pass that isn't on and they lose possession, Unai Emery's going to call him out for it. He says, no, that's not what we do. And then McGinn was the main. McGinn and
Diaby was on as well, wasn't he, at that stage? And Bailey down the right hand side.
McGinn and Bailey were the two main players who would break through the lines. They were the ones who were going, right, we're in a good position, here we go. But the rest of the team worked to put them in that position.
Takuri stolen the ball there off Tielemans. Left edge of the penalty area, trying to pull the ball back, but can't find a blue shirt with it. Tyler on Yango will join the action if we have time. We've already had 6 minutes of stoppage time here. With Dean trying to pick a pass there, can't do, and Michael Keane can just hoof the ball away.
It's a tired pass from Dean.
Yeah, I don't want the ball near me, thank you very much. Again, and just leaves it there for Duran to turn away towards this near side. 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
Everybody looks tired. It's not that the Villa play. If it was 0-0 or 1-0, it would be a completely different game. It's just the fact that the game's dead, the game's finished, and players just wanting the game to be over. Everton aren't particularly closing down. Villa aren't particularly trying to score another goal. Garner,
deep play by him, and then picked up by Danjuma, who's just come a little bit more centrally for a moment. Dobbin, Patterson, back to Danjuma again, who's now in a right back position, would you believe? Tries to play it in towards Dobbin. Felt he was obstructed, and the referee has given the free kick when he sees Everton having the advantage. Everton will make a substitution. It's going to be Doucouré, who will come off right at the end of this one.
Replacement number 62, Tyler Onyango.
Tyler Onyango, the player who comes on. It's about 90 seconds.
How many
left
times have we spoke about Onana, Doucouré or Gay positively this afternoon? 3 central midfielders. We spoke about Onana because you were asking me what I thought about him. Gay got taken off at half time, of course.
Yeah, we don't know whether that was an injury yet or whether that was tactical, do we? So we'll have to see on that. Yeah.
3 central midfielders. We're talking about John McGinn an awful lot, that's for sure.
Everton in possession on halfway with Michael Keane. 0800 731 9333 want to give us a call this afternoon. Your thoughts on the performance, the outlook for the season, more injuries for Sean Dyche to worry about. As Everton try and come forward, and Villa repel that attack pretty easily in the final minutes of the 9 minutes of stoppage time. And soon the whistle goes for Everton and their fans. I think the better this afternoon. I know it's only the second game of the season, but does this worry you, Barry, even in the early stages?
Absolutely, it worries me. Yeah, we don't know how good Villa are going to be come Christmas, come January, whenever, come up 6 games. But they've looked head and shoulders above Everton today. That's worrying for any team. It was quite positive after the Fulham game. We don't know where Fulham are going to end up. No idea how good they are. But I thought we made chances. I thought we were well in the game.
And that's the final whistle as well, Barry, so it's finished 4-0.
4-0 today. That's not even. That doesn't even flatter Villa. I don't know. If that had been 5 or 6-0, Everton couldn't have complained. And it's the third goal and the fourth goal, the terrible goals to give away defensively. We switched off completely. That killed the game. After 20 minutes, I thought we were in the game. Villa took the chances. We didn't take our half chances, but Villa looked better than us. They looked more accomplished, they looked more confident, they looked slicker, they looked much more of a recognisable game plan, a good shape, and they had a couple of in that early spell. McGinn and Bailey were with a difference. Ollie Watkins, England striker, didn't really do anything. They didn't need him,
I mean, 1-0, we talked about that first goal and McGinn's movement and the score. You said that was great movement by him, a good goal. The second one, the penalty, was Sean Dyche, I think that perhaps it was a little bit unfortunate that Pickford was penalised, or when he couldn't get the ball.
I didn't. I thought that was a really, really, really soft penalty. I'm not sure there was that much contact, and I think Pickford had a right to go for that ball. If you think back to let's not compare it to other things. I thought it was a really, really soft penalty. And yes, Sean Dyche can point to bad luck. So there's no doubt about that. Calvert-Lewin getting injured, he will be getting injured. Last week, Michael Keane's goal being disallowed, which is an absolutely appalling decision, an absolute shocker of a decision, which would have put Everton 1-0 up our whole first game of the season. But over a period of games, you know, you can't keep saying it's bad luck. Everton have not been the better team today. Villa have been the better team today.
Yeah, I mean, if you were talking about, you know, man of the match, you were talking early on, you know, that Ashley Young was in the frame already, weren't you, when he had a really good start to this game. But I mean, in the end, you know, can you pick an Everton man of the match out of it? That tells a story if you're taking deep breaths beside me.
Dan Juma come on and looked a threat, looked positive, tried to make things happen. Lewis Dobbin felt a bit sorry for him, really, coming on in the circumstances, but he looked lively. No is the answer. Jordan Pickford made two good saves. Was he at fault for anything? Maybe the penalty was down. Well, it was down to him, but did he have to come for that? Or, you know, if he hadn't come, would it have been a goal anyway? Possibly. It's you are scratching your head and saying, well, you're giving somebody man of the match just for the sake of giving somebody man of the match.
0800 731 9333. Want to have a word with Barry. Mike Hughes in the studio, of course. And I suppose, you know, the question then is sort of where do Everton go from here? I mean, you know, that's it. You know, they 2 games, 2 losses. What's next?
Well, what's next is I looked at the fixtures as I have done for the last number of years. Actually, thought Everton's been handed a decent start there by the fixture computer. So they've got another 2 games coming up now that, shall we say, they have to win, because then the next game up is Arsenal. Is it Wolves and Sheffield, I think, isn't it? So 2 games. I'm going to say Everton needs 6 points from it.
There's the challenge from Barry Horn. Decided he couldn't quite give a man of the match award for Everton this afternoon. A disappointing afternoon, certainly. McGinn putting Villa ahead on 18 minutes after a good cross by Bailey. Then Pickford with a challenge that was adjudged to be a foul on Ollie Watkins, and Douglas Luiz with a penalty. Although Pickford went the right way, he couldn't keep that one out. Then at the start of the second half, just 6 minutes in, a throw left hand side. Luca Dean took it. Everton switched off completely, and Keane tried to receive the situation, but it just dropped in the path of Bailey, who drilled it through the legs of Pickford to make it 3-0. And then even worse for Everton with 15 minutes left. Durand had only just during the pitch as a replacement striker. A poor throw by Everton, and it's picked up by him between 2 central defenders, who were able to go on one-on-one with Pickford and calmly stroke the ball home to make it 4-0. A couple of decent saves by Martinez, one from the substitute for the injured Dominic Calvert-Lewin, out with what looked like a nasty facial injury. Perhaps a fractured cheekbone. We'll wait and see to what that might be. And also Alex Iwobi off with what looked like a hamstring injury early in the second half as well. But Danjuma at the end of the first half, a shot saved by Martinez at his near post, and then Neil Maupay on as the second half substitute as well. Caught one sweetly on the volley, but again, when you're not scoring goals, you're not scoring goals, and Martinez kept that one out as well. But really the little scraps in what's been a disappointing afternoon for Everton here. It's finished. Aston Villa 4, Everton 0.
Live Premier League football.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
So slow from Villa, just those 1 or 2 breaks they had from McGinn in midfield. But now they might have a bit of space for Diaby. Drives on towards the edge of the penalty area, plays it wide as far as Bailey. Bailey heads towards the dead ball line, chips the ball in, and it's turned in at the near post. And Villa have themselves the lead, and it is their captain John McGinn who's turned it in. Well, it was slow, but eventually to Bailey. He feinted to come inside, went towards the dead ball line, and as he played the ball in, McGinn arrived at the near post to turn it into the back of the net. Again, the short corner, which leaves plenty of space and time now for Luca Dean just to curl one in. Headed away well in the end by Garner. I think he got his head to it, but only as far as Matty Cash. Left edge of the penalty area, curls the ball in, free header in the end, and a little touch goal was, did it go in? Well, it was touched forward by Ollie Watkins. The referee will know whether it crossed the goal line or not. And the referee will have had a signal if that's the case. Just looking to see whether
a free kick.
There was a flag up for a free kick.
Free kick for the challenge on Pickford. He stopped play, the referee.
He says stop play, so he's going to look at I presume VAR have got involved here.
VAR for it to goal or not, because he gets an automatic buzz. As he's saying, there's a dangerous. I don't think that's crossed the line anyway.
The referee's got a signal, don't they, on their watch about whether it's crossed the line. If you cross the line, they do, don't they? That's right. Yeah.
It's a separate piece of technology.
Yeah.
So it's either a foul on Watkins or it's a foul by Watkins.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how the referee's viewed that. I thought Watkins went with a high foot. Did Pickford get the ball or?
No, he didn't get the ball at all, so the referee has said it's a penalty to Villa.
Penalty.
Pickford clattered into the player, that's what it's been given for. So Douglas Luiz, though, with the opportunity to make it 2-0 to Villa. Holt End. Pickford on his line. 250th Premier League appearance for Jordan Pickford today. Luiz comes forward, Pickford goes the right way to his left hand side, but it hits the back of the net. And the ball away on halfway there of Everton, and now a chance for Watkins to drive forward. He's got a bit of pace about him as well, but Michael Keane just stands tall and Watkins bounces off of him. But Dean wins the header, and McGinn, 360-degree turn then from John McGinn, gets it wide to Dean. Now the cross comes in, goes on the far post and hits the inside of the post there with a volley that came in from Diaby. Well, that was a terrific strike as the ball sort of dropped. But it started with that 360-degree turn by John McGinn, then Dean's cross in, and then Diaby, well, he caught that one perfectly, didn't he? And it just bounced off the inside of the post.
Save.
Did he get a touch there, did Pickford?
Got a really, really good save.
Doesn't need some goals here this afternoon, no doubt about that. Back with McGinn again. Also always seems to be available for a pass as well, this time wide to Luca Dean. That's a decent ball in, but headed away well by Tarkowski on the edge of his 6-yard box and away for another throw on his near side. Throws taken quickly. Keane gets a foot in, and it's going to break there for the opportunity, and it's drilled in by Leon Bailey. Well, it was a throw from this near side. Everton were asleep really, and Keane was at full stretch trying to clear the ball away, but it broke as far as Leon Bailey, and no problem for him as he hit it into the ground past Pickford. He'll now pay when he come on. I suppose that's the closest Everton have come to just getting something in the game, isn't it? Oh. And now they've given the ball away, now real opportunity. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, who turns the ball in very, very easily, and that's a goal for John Duran. Well, he's only been on the pitch for about 30 seconds, and Everton's so sloppy at the back, and John Duran just joined the action, says thank you very much, slots it past Pickford, and it's 4-0.
Call the football phone in 0800 731 9333.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
To the phones in a second. Barry Horn at Villa Park. Just a taste of some of the messages coming in on social media, on Twitter and WhatsApp. Steve on Twitter, Everton fan, truly shocking. Paul in Prescott, who's a Blue, the football we play isn't going to work. The manager should take the blame for this, and more criticism for Sean Dyche. Of course, only 2 games gone in the season, but 2 defeats. The first one not deserved, but today 4-0, a defeat. Could have been double that. This is a joke. Dyche is a one-trick pony. Perhaps a bit too hectic with that criticism. Let's get to Barry Horn at Villa Park. And first of all, caller is Bill in Huyton. Bill, I'm sure you've got things you'd like to put to Barry.
Well, first, I'd like to know why can't we get a box of antidepressants for our season tickets? That was absolutely woeful today. I mean, we've talked before about not having a striker. The midfield was absolutely nowhere to be seen, and it really is worried now for the rest of the season. I know we've got 2 new strikers in, shall we say, but it's the creativity of it all. And could I just ask just one thing? Last week, Jordan Pickford, the goalkeeper, committed what we thought was a foul in the Everton game. He ended up getting a free kick for himself. Today, a similar thing, and we got a penalty against us.
Yeah, before we bring Barry in, and I don't know what you think about this, Barry, I think Everton paid the penalty with Jordan Pickford for what didn't happen at Old Trafford with Onana against Wolves.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up in commentary, and I thought, no, you're just going down a rabbit hole, but that was more or less the point I was going to make, actually. I didn't think there was... I've not seen any replays, by the way. I've only seen it as it was. I didn't think there was a massive amount of contact. I think Pickford maybe wasn't favoured to get the ball, but had a right to go for it. I thought there was a chance that the referee might have been looking at a high foot by Watkin, who's gone with his stud showing, by the way. But you're right, because that one wasn't given. I think VAR have gone, ooh, that's sort of similar, and you know what happened to last week's VAR crew? They got stood down. So they've given it, and you know the other. I'm not just sticking up for Sean Dyche, but I am saying the other shocking decision already this season was the Keane goal that was disallowed. That will rankle for the rest of the season, because that's 3 points in the bag. So yeah, but listen, we're talking about the penalty incident, which, you know, it was a crucial moment. It went from 1-0 to 2-0, but if you look at the 90 minutes, nobody can deny that Villa were the better team.
Well, when I ended up turning the football off, and I just listened to it on the radio, and it was absolutely gut-wrenching every time I switched over to the telly, because I was looking at it and it was like they'd all had a flipping big lunch beforehand and they couldn't run at all.
Yeah, I mean, actually, just picking up on Bill's point the first time, I should have picked up on. I did say to Derek in commentary after about 75-80 minutes, maybe roundabout, it was later on in the game, I said, we haven't mentioned Decore, Onana or Gay. I can't remember. We had a little chat about Onana when the ball was dead, talking about the idea that he may, you know, the clubs are coveting him and may be willing to pay a lot of money for him. But in terms of in commentary and contribution to the game, hardly mentioned our central midfielders, pivotal, key. Your central midfielders should be the people who are on the ball more than anybody else, just like John McGinn was for Villa, the Aston Villa captain, who
just too passive, Barry, weren't they?
Passive, lack of aggression, lack of involvement is the worrying thing. Lack of involvement, how the game can be played, and let's say for example, the game goes, you know, there's several scenarios. There's one scenario where the opposition central midfield are getting a lot of the ball, so therefore you expect your central midfield to be making a lot of tackles or interceptions. On the other hand, if you're on top, you expect your central midfielders to be on the ball, moving the ball forward, linking play, playing 1-2s, getting in the box, and which is exactly what the Leon Bailey did, what McGinn did, what Louise did to a certain extent, to a lesser degree than McGinn, but you know, that's what they were doing, and I can't think what our on today what our midfield did. They were just bypassed. They were outplayed.
Yeah, clearly not good enough. Thanks to Bill in Huyton for his thoughts. Let's go to Warren, a worried Everton fan in Litherland. Hi there, Warren.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, Barry's listening.
Barry, do you get Brown off saying the same thing season in and season out? They're going on about this Onana, 50 to 60 million that Manchester United are after him. If I was Everton, I'd bite their hand off right away, because all due respect, he's not good enough, that lad. He just walks around with his head in the clouds, does nothing. How is Michael Keane getting in the team before the young Brandtwaite? Because to me, the manager needs to take a serious look at himself today in the mirror, because his tactics, he got them wrong again. Aston Villa never got out of second gear today. It was totally and utterly embarrassing again. What do you think yourself, mate?
I agree with you about Onana in the sense that if anyone is willing to offer big money, we should take it, on the proviso that it goes into funding some player purchase for Sean Dyche, which recent history would suggest it won't, regardless of whether somebody's willing to pay a lot of money for him. I'm just not sure what his strengths are. If you look at a variety of central midfielders, you've got creative types. You've got like, going back a long time, David Platt didn't really do a great deal other than get in the box and score goals. You've got some lads who are really creative and make goals. You've got people like myself who are more defensive, good tacklers, decent passes of the ball, but not going to make 15, 20 assists a season, but win the ball and keep the ball for you. Good in the air, maybe. I'm not sure which of those boxes he ticks, to be honest with you. So if somebody's willing to go, there you go, there's 35 down, 25 down, whatever, plus add-ons, and Sean Dyche is going to get that money, then I would take it. I've got to be honest with you. And to turn your question on its head a little bit, but answer it in a roundabout way, I was very impressed with Aston Villa. We've no idea at the moment how good Fulham are or how poor they are. We've no idea how good Aston Villa are going to be. Although since December, January, they've been very, very, very good. Today, they looked like a team who knew what they were doing. They were doing what the manager, coach has asked them to do, and they were the better team. They were in every department.
We were the better team by a country mile, mate.
Yeah.
You got battered last week by Newcastle. Absolutely played off the pitch.
And that's quite impressive, actually.
We played Fulham off the pitch last week. They never got out of second gear today, mate. Our performance today was that bad. Every one of them should donate the wages to charity, because that was absolutely disgraceful for the 5,000 to 6,000 fans that went to Villa Park. And all we're saying, year in, year out, 2 steps forward and 58 steps back. And every manager we bring in, we just seem to stand still. Whatever he said to them today, before they went out on the pitch, they must have went in one ear and right out the other, because not one of the players never put a shift in, all for the 99 minutes that we played. Not one of them.
Well, I'm going to slightly disagree. I thought up to 20 minutes, Everton were sort of in the game, even though you're always a little bit worried that Villa was showing signs of getting on top. When that first goal went in, and then the second one went in, then I think we saw what you're talking about. It just looked like there was only ever going to be one team win it. Although, at that 2-0, Martinez has made a couple of really, really good saves. The one from Mopé was a very, very good save. I'm not saying that would have meant Everton got back in the game, but that 2-1, it certainly gives you a lift for 5 or 10 minutes. But no, for the majority of the game, I think the first half possession stats were 66%. To Villa, and I would have guessed it was about 70% just watching the game. They knew what they were doing, they knew what they wanted to do, and
they did it much better, Barry, didn't they?
Yes, we're away from home, so maybe you would expect them to share possession, but they just looked as if they had a plan. And when they brought substitutes on, they were either like for like, or then at one point, Unai Emery was able to change the system, and just say, well, let's have a look at this, because we're so comfortable, we can more or less do what we want for the next 25 minutes. Let's have a look at 3 at the back and see how we go for future reference.
And that's precisely what they did. Warren in Litherland, thanks to him for the points he's just made. Before we go to our next caller, Dave in Crosby, an email. Hi guys, words fail me. That was absolutely dreadful, and yet another new low. Okay, final call. It's going to be Billy in Norris Green. Good afternoon, Billy. Barry Horns at Villa Park. Yeah, we're listening.
Are you okay, Barry? Okay.
Hello, Billy.
Barry, I'm absolutely heartbreaking. I'm 40 years of age. I feel like I'm going on 60. Somehow I've still got brown hair. I don't know how. I don't know where to start. Obviously, you're playing a bang average Aston Villa team today. They deserve what, could have been double figures, to be fair. It's a bang average Aston Villa team, which, I don't know. They obviously got hammered last week by Newcastle, and you just know meal ticket, Everton at home, and we were there for the taking. And when you got players like Alex Iwobi, Michael Keane, Liam Mopai, what are you expecting? I'm sorry, I stick for any player that plays and wears that shirt and behind. But how many chances did he need? Michael Keane's a bag of nerves. I've got a lad from my team who I've just lost to the semi-professional team. You could have up front and he would have had an hat-trick last week. It's not good enough, Barry. I'm sorry, it's not good enough. Things need to change. It's an absolute circus that we're watching.
Well, I don't quite know where to pick up with. I'm not sure that Aston Villa are bang average. Firstly, I'm not defending Everton in any way, but I'm just making the point. From January the 1st to the end of the season last year, Villa would have been runners up in the Premier League. So I'm not sure they're bang average. They don't set the world alight. They're not Manchester City or Liverpool in their pomp, and they've not got many players that are household name world beaters. But they have got decent players, and they've got a coach who's set them up to play in a certain way, which they did today, and they made us look very, very, very poor. Newcastle made them look poor last week, but who knows what Newcastle are going to do this season. So you named 3 or 4 players there that you would but I think on today's performance there wouldn't be many from the starting 11 that you could not point the finger at and say had a poor game. I've got to be perfectly honest with you, and the danger is that they will come, that lack of confidence, that shakiness will spread, and Sean Dyche will not be able to motivate them or instill them with any sense of self-belief. And if they go out at Goodison Park and go under because because of the Everton fans have been quite simply unbelievable the last 3 years, 4 years when we've been struggling. They've not wavered. They've not gotten the teams back ever, to my recollection, at Goodison Park. If they do, I really fear for some of them players because, as you said, 1 or 2 of them are looking a little bit shaky as it is. And if Goodison Park ever does turn or doesn't maintain their support of them, then things could get even worse. I've got to be honest with you.
Okay, thanks to Billy in Norris Green for his thoughts. Unfortunately, time has beaten us with regard to getting more callers on the line, and plenty of you do want to come on. Of course, we've got the phone-in element to tomorrow night's show on Merseyside Sport. But thanks to Barry Horn and to Derek Jones at Villa Park. Thanks for coming on for the phone-in as well, Barry, on what's proved to be a pretty bleak afternoon for the Blues. And we'll have you on board in the coming weeks. Thanks, Barry. Speak to you soon, pal.
See you later.
But that's just about it for Merseyside Sport for today. We're back tomorrow with the weekend review on Merseyside Sport. As I say, thanks to Derek and to Barry Horn at Villa Park. Not great to commentate on a performance like that.